Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat at narito na tayo dadayo sa tapatan ng
Mhm.
labanang langit at lupa at kung meron bang mapupunta sa impyerno sa tapatan ng Execration against FERVID eSports. Kami pa rin ang inyong kasama dito, Mochi and Bipolar nga pala, wherein we will be explaining quite a lot, especially in terms of the
Yes.
storyline Bipolar that we have at our hands right now.
Yeah, sobrang solid actually yung lineup natin and I'm actually so excited, Mochi, kasi these are the two teams na I'm really rooting for FERVID and Execration, to now see them in the similar ground na magbabattle sila para makita nga ba kung may playoffs ba dito ang FERVID or will Execration really be just slayers dito na ating mga teams, no, sa buong Masters. Pero talking about it, Mochi, simulan natin ang storya with Execration. Execration did have players coming in from FERVID. Last time it was D and A7J, pero they did take them out to get some spots here para dito kay Justin and kay MVA. And now with Yotip in the scene, Ziweke out, nakita natin, Mochi, na parang kakaiba ang parang swak na swak ang buong Execration yun, because we don't have that group performance dati na parang able to qualify lang. Parang this time, they can possibly get a podium finish just from their mere adjustments as well. You have MVA na attacker na dito ngayon kasi na-realize natin na parang wala namang totoong IGL dito sa Execration. These are
True.
players that have their own mindsets, that they have their own calls, at kapag nangyari yun, they have a great chemistry to use that. Tingnan mo naman, parang Yotid, no? Habang tumatagal din, nakikita natin siya ngayon, pangiti na ng
Nangiti
pangiti,
na siya.
habang todong-todo, no? Hindi na siya yung ganun lo, tapos maglalaro na siya. It's really just a team now na
Totoo.
parang as the day goes by dito sa ating group stage, paganda ng chemistry na. Even Justin smiling, which is pretty nice sign, no? But it has
Yes.
been very prevalent naman na talagang sometimes nahihirapan din ang Execration. Hopefully, up against FERVID daw, mapakita nila dito yung totoong lakas nila as the Exi-Shot fan or Exi-fan.
Pero, same, no? Pero sinasabi din na dito, no, yun yung target nila for this group stage at ngayon na na-add na si Yotem dito sa Execration, ilabas yung kulit niya. At yun na naman din yung nangyayari ngayon, which is nice, no? Pero ito nga ang ating match
Mataba
history
na.
for Execration, ha? Nagkakalaman na si Yotem, kamo?
Nagkakalaman na si Yotib.
Oo.
Nakakalaman.
Pero tignan mo na, my Polar, yung pinagdaanan nila dito, no, only one loss against matches. That's all there is to it. The rest, W sa kulay ginto ang nakikita
Yes.
natin dito, no, sa kanilang match history. At meron tayong katanungan dito, no, for
Wow.
your team. What will we be expecting from your team for the last week of the group stage? Ang sabi niya, we need to unleash more of our potential as a team and player and we're working on that as of now. Sinabi niya yan.
Wow.
Wow,
Grabe si
no.
Yotib. I'm out of words. Feeling ko nga may British accent pa dito si Yotib. Sabi,
Ay,
we need to
may
unleash
accent
more of our
din.
potential. Oh, may ganun pa yan, Mochi. Kasi ganun na
Paano,
si
paano,
Yotib
paano
ngayon.
yung British accent?
Yotib, take it away. Pero yun na nga, no, I mean, Yotib is definitely right, no. Meron pa rin naman kailangan i-patch up dito, Mochi, kasi dati parang may conversation na tayo, parang you have individual roles para dito sa ating mga players, parang how can they make it into a team, and just like what Yotib has
Yes.
said, parang they're still fixing it through and through, and just like from the previous interview with MVA naman, sabi niya 70 to 80% pa naman po yung parang fully grasped namin. May 20% pa, may 30% pa na kailangan ayusin dito. And I just love to see it na even Yotib is acknowledging the fact na meron pa rin namang kulang. Hopefully, maayos yan bago pumasok ng playoffs.
Exactly. At kung naaalala mo rin, Bipolar, ang pinakaunang interview natin with MVA, tinanong natin siya ano yung nilulook forward nila oras na makatapat nila ang FERVID, which is ngayon, is yung bawian nila si FERVID.
Yeah.
Kaya pag-usapan natin si FERVID eSports right now. Kasi, honestly, dito, no, sa itsura ng FERVID right now, looking good. A couple of young guns, fragging every single time. Andyan na yung kumpiyansa ni Lance, andyan yung pagiging balanced of a role na ngayon ni Dino, nag-improve siya. We also have A7J in the mist na talaga namang matindi ang palautakan na ginagawa niya dito. Itong si Dracifer na ironically underrated, no? Kahit na
Yes.
sobrang galing din naman yung gumalaw at si MZ na until now, nag-a-adjust pa rin. Pero meron naman tayong stable progress for them, no? Pero
What?
parang meron ata
Whoa!
tayong substitution right now as MZ will be out for now and Haj is in.
Okay. I actually want to dabble in this much more, no? Pagdating sa ating games, kasi we have to look in Haj's performance right off the get-go. Again, it's up against Execration. I don't doubt na Haj is a formidable player. He is really good. Pero for Fervid kasi, parang sasabihin ko pa lang kanina, ay maganda tong Fervid kasi nawala na yung stint na loose streak sila, nawala na yung parang malambot na lance, di nakakatamang di, bumabalik na sila pero wala na aalis muna dito si MZ. Haj will be playing out. So there's a little bit of a mix-up para sa Fervid up against Execration pa. And I feel like Haj can still go in the foots or sa shoes dito ni MZ. But let's see, man. This is gonna be very, very interesting. Ito nga ba ang curveball na kinakailangan ng Fervid para matalo ang Execration. But now, looking sa kanilang standings, no, natanggal na nga dito, Mochi, yung loose tip nila ng 3 matches straight from STS to acceptance to VP. Pero ngayon, they're trying to get that win streak again. If they win here, Mochi, playoffs will be very, very possible. If not, po, it is gonna be very, very devastating para dito kay A7J muli. Going out with a bang na parang di man lang makakapag-playoffs dito. But hopefully, yeah, honestly, it's been pretty good, no? Pero yeah, with MZ out, question is, can Haj really pave the way para makapasok dito ang Fervid in a possible 2-0 or 2-1 fashion?
Ayan nga din yung funny thing dito, no, bipolar. The moment that we saw that Sabin, nako, ang dahil nga
Gulat tayo
nagmamakaawa na, wait lang, pwede ba namin palitan yung prediction namin? Kasi parang may ibang niluluto dito, no? Si Boss Aris. Pero,
iba naman sinasabi
nako,
ni Haj.
si Haj pa ang sumagot nito, no? Which opponents are you looking forward the most in the last week and what can you say to them? Sabi ni Haj, Execration, kasi gusto namin sila talunin uli.
Yeah.
Imagine the aura dito galing kay Haj.
Yeah, bakit kayo nagde-doubt na wala muna si MZ? Baka pagod ang retail MZ natin for Fervid, no? Haj, sabi niya, ako na bahala, guys. Tatalunin natin yan ng Execration. Might as well do it, Haj. I'm all for it, no? Pero, yun na nga,
Exactly.
it's still gonna be, parang interesting din, Mochi, no? Kasi these two teams actually has a pretty similar map veto pag sa kanila, no? But, of course, we will see that later on.
And speaking of similarities, no, maybe we can see the similarities and oddities na meron dito, no, sa dalawang players na i-feature natin in our head-to-head so far, as we have Yotib and as well as Lance, no? And I do think that both of these players are undergoing some breakthroughs and rebirths dito in their own identity sa ating team.
Actually, I'll put these two players in the similar similar spot, no, Mochi. I put Yotib dati in the top 3 snipers of all time, pero or at least for this Summer Masters, tapos sila dito in the top 5. But now, they're also pretty similar. They're playing very, very passive a little bit, pero when there are times na kailangan mag-overstep dito ng ating mga snipers, just like what Lance does kapag sub-beast initially, no, siya na mismo gumagawa ng second mid push, siya na gumagawa dito ng gulo. And also Yotib does that in a similar sense kapag new compound or at least in other maps just like possibly Eagle Eye. Also similar, so very, very fair. And I like this, no, na kailangan natin tutukan ng ating dalawang snipers because these two have been very much promising from the impact stage, from their very first debut dito ng ating Masters. Nakita natin na may bitaw ang ating snipers. And again, we're getting treated with the sniper players dito sa ating buong Masters kasi every team has a formidable sniper. Just like these two na talaga namang kayang tumutok.
Exactly. And I think it's just right now, and considering that we are focusing on our snipers right now, tignan natin kung yung mga mapang paglalaroan nila would be giving them all the ground and opportunity para ipamalas ang kanilang galing dito. As we focus on the map of Ankara being prioritized by Execration, followed by Black Widow para dito sa Fervid and Bipolar, take it away. Charot. We have New Mexico dito na for our decider. Why? No? Why do you think they've been able to choose this?
Actually, hopefully we get some a little bit more time here, no? Sub-base, bailout muna dito sa Execration. Yes, kaya nila yan. Pero tulad nga na sinabi ko, the BL side of Fervid sa sub-base, napakahirap talunin yan, Mochi. They have more strat book here than in Eagle Eye. Pero sabi naman dito ng ating Fervid, tanggalin na natin Eagle Eye 2.0 kasi ayaw natin ma-activate si Yotib. Kasi both sides doon, ginagawang strong side ni Yotib. And make it more easier, no? Pumunta na lang daw tayo dito sa Ankara for Execration because just like what we've been seeing, spammed out na palagi ang Execration in Ankara. Their GR side is too intense. Pagdating dito sa BL side, they have this split up na 1-4 setup. Iwan nila sa NBA, papunta sa TV lahat, or something similar na 1-1-3 setup. For Black Widow though, FERVID, oh, this is gonna be exciting. Pero last time na nakita ko kasi dito, si MZ yung naglalaro. So, anong ibibigay dito ni Haj para mas ma-fortify dito yung GR side start ng FERVID? But yung Mexico, alam na natin yan. Both these teams know how to play it, especially itong Execration. So, it's actually gonna be insane, no? Na parang aabot talaga tayo dito ng ating decider. Plus, big shoutouts muna kay Candy kasi nagpapa-shoutout siya, lalo na nandito si CBN, no? Pero may Mochi ang kakaiba dito. Ito na yung pinaka-interesting or at least one of the most crazy map vetoes that we've had sa buong group stage.
Exactly. And kasi, ganito yan, bipolar, nag-usap-usap kasi yung mga teams natin. Tas ang usapan, dapat pub-like yung team na yun para sa araw na to, no? Siguro yan yun. Kaya siguro ganyan yung mga pinili dalawa pa, no? Pinag-usapan nila yan. Pero, ipakita na nga rin natin, ano nga ba ang ating mga predictions dito, no? Na ang iba sa atin gusto sanang baguhin, pero right now, it is a 2-0 here all across the board para sa Execration, and for Sneaky Frog, ay nagba-vote siya right now for FERVID having that 2-1 sa ating scoreline.
You know, I don't doubt naman na kaya dito ng FERVID, honestly, pero kailangan nga talaga umabot ng map number 3. Ang problem is right now, no, talagang kailangan talaga nila i-banatlat ng kanilang buto. Plus, give Sneaky Frog the benefit of the doubt. Gusto niya makuha yung top 1 sa prediction mode. Kailangan kakaiba.
Yes, I agree. And we're also gonna see ano nga kaya ang sabi ng ating community, no, with this one.
50-50.
Do they have the same insights as ours? Ooh. That is still 69% in favor for Execration. No? Hindi siya totally 50-50. I actually expected it's gonna be much closer than that. Same as you, no, bipolar. Pero sabi nila, parang they're vouching more on the performance of Execration. And I do wonder na nalaman nila na si Hadj na ang maglalaro dito, ay magbago kaya ang kanilang isip this time around. Kasi even para sa atin, no, it might be some changes coming in. At idagdag pa natin sa sakit ng ulo natin yung mga mapang pinili nila dito. No? Pero guys, we can dive into this further as we welcome ang ating mga casters na maghahatid ng ating commentary for this specific match. Right now, it is Salvatore and as well as Sneaky Frog. Yo! Hello guys! Welcome back dito sa ating desk, and I do think that you guys have a lot of emotional, violent reactions with our current matchup so far. Let's start with Sneaky Frog.
Yeah, the guy who wants to change his prediction, no? I was really caught off guard dito sa pag-subbing dito ni Hadges, not gonna lie. Kasi, ayun nga, I really feel like MZ, despite his stats, no, he was actually doing like an okay job dito sa kanyang role. And I feel like, you know, the community might be misled a bit pagdating sa statistics natin considering how much impact he has dito sa mapa dito ng FERVID. So, yun nga, no, I was taken aback kasi I woke up this morning, I was like, parang ito na yata yung araw na matatalo ng FERVID itong Execration. And then I saw that news. And then, of course, medyo nagkakaroon na ako ng doubts dito. Kasi sayang naman yung matchup natin dito na Mochi because to quote a certain fam sa season 7, episode 25 ng The Office, they are the same picture. Yung dalawang teams na to. Execration and FERVID, that's why I like these teams. It's a good mix of youth and a good mix of veterancy as well. Para sa Execration, they have the former Macta boys, and para naman dito sa FERVID, they have Tracifer, they have A7J, and what was supposed to be etong si MZ. So, ayun nga, obviously, hindi ko naman ida-doubt yung decision dito ni Nice Katol, pero you know, at the same time, baka may pocket plan siya dito specifically para dito sa Execration, especially knowing how important this specific series is para sa kanilang, you know, overall seeding and even a chance to even touch itong playoffs natin.
Exactly, no? Lalong-lalo na that some of these players were former brothers turned rivals right now dito, no, sa ating stage. So that just amplifies the narrative more dito, no, sa tapatan nila. Pero how about you, Salvatore?
Honestly, Bochi, same sentiments na na-caught off guard ako dito in one of the most important matches na meron ng FERVID to further solidify yung pwesto nga nila sa playoffs. They subbed in their best effort para matalo talaga ang Execration. Si MZ mismo ang tumalo sa Execration during Swiss. And if kung maalala mo nga, a year ago nung PH Master Summer, si Haj din yung isa sa mga players na nagpadala sa Execration nung 3 maps. Pero kasi it was the kind of Execration roster na kakaiba pa. Nandun pa sila Charleston, sila RGXM. So it kind of feels like dated na talaga yung magiging contribution dito ni Haj. Despite it being an Impact champion, feeling ko pa rin it's going to be a different story para dito kay Haj kung kaya niya nga bang i-replicate yung kayang gawin ni MC in the long term. Considering that there is going to be a possibility mag 3 sets nga tayo, parang eto na nga, parang na-vision na nga ni Execration na there's going to be a change of game plans, baka yun yung hinahanap ng FERVID. So, it's a bunch of what-ifs para dito sa FERVID. Pero sa Execration kasi may definitive na sagot na pag nakita mo yung roster eh.
Exactly. I feel like that is also something na maganda rin na point out dito, is kung gaano kasolido ang Execration right now that they already built this identity throughout the course of the weeks. Meanwhile, here for FERVID, it's just now that they'll be showing something new, something surprising, and probably something in the kitchen cooking, and hopefully that it works and it doesn't come out burnt or raw dito sa ating match right now. So, dito naman for Execration, do you think, Bipolar, that Demon will now get slayed by Fall X? Do you think that we'll be having quite a Demon Slayer action going on here?
Oh yeah, kung isipin mo, marami namang Hashiras dito ang players natin for Execration. You have CBN, you have Justin, you have Yotib. It's a full-on onslaught para dito sa ating nag-iisang demon on the other side. So kung iisipin mo, Mochi, kayang-kayan. I feel like it's not just really Folex's Folex's matchup na siya lang yung kayang pumatay. I feel like everyone here will be gunning out for this kid. Especially yung mga natira dito sa Execration from that recent roster, na CBN as well itong si Folex. They wanna teach this demon a little bit of a lesson na kaya ka naming punterian kahit nasa ibang jersey ka na. But you know what? There's also something to look out na itong si Demon or itong si D natin. That's a word na kailangan ko ulitin si Demon. Na itong si D, he'll not be fighting up against any kind of foe. These are veterans in the making, especially may veterans na tayo dito on Justin as well as MVA's name. Meanwhile, you have star players that are not just looking for that trophy, but also looking for that international final performance mula dito kay Folex. So, he needs to have a very tough heart pagdating dito sa labanan na.
Exactly, and this is already the time na para dito KD and as well as kay Lance na hindi pwedeng ma-break ang kanilang composure regardless of how heated this match gets. And speaking of Lance, it's time for Yotib and Lance to clash dito sa ating sniping duel, as the Scoop Kings collide dito sa ating match right now, Sneaky Frog.
Yeah, honestly, this is one of yung more premier sniper matchups na makikita ka natin dito sa group stage natin, and considering that Lance and Yotib both fulfill very different roles para sa kanilang team. Yotib, you kind of barely see him be the entry para sa kanyang team because man, tignan mo naman yung team nila, they have 3 entry fraggers, so hindi na nila kailangan ng aggression dun sa team na yun. So yun nga, he enjoys kind of sitting back and covering para sa kanyang teammates. Meanwhile, para kay Lance, I feel like he fulfills a lot more bigger of a role para dito sa FERVID team natin, and he has to do yung usual na sinasabi kong meta at the start of the year para sa snipers, which is you have to entry, you have to support, you have to do everything and be dynamic dito sa mapa natin, and I feel like Lance really does fulfill that. But at the same time, dahil nga sa ganun na sitwasyon nga dito ni Lance, it kind of will feel like he has so much on his plate dito sa mapa natin kumpara nga dito kay Yotib, who has a technically easier job dito sa Execration as he's been covered for his teammates, and yun nga Lance really has to step up heavily even beyond yung matchup nila ni Yotib.
Yes, and I do think that this specific matchup doesn't stop here. Meron din tayong pagtatapatin dito, as we have brothers from a memory and enemies for a war today. Kung meron tayong A7J at D, meron din tayong Full X at CBN dito sa kabila, Salvatore.
Well, from the headline itself, Mochi, these four used to be teammates and actually made a very good run during during Regionals 2025. Kaso nga lang kasi nasa opposite end na nga sila ng labanan, and I feel like wala nang mas magiging magandang basa pa kundi si A7J at D laban kay Folex and CBN. If there's any two players that knows how capable Folex and CBN is during the mid-round, it's definitely A7J. At kung sino man tatapat dito kay CBN para patasin ang rango ng headshot per kill, it's definitely D. So I feel like this matchup is definitely something na maraming pwedeng mangyari just because of A7J's availability para sa FERVID. Pero ngayon, with Folex sudden rise as the second caller of the team, who is also absolute sa mga ginagawa niya, who is like 99.9% correct sa mga ginagawa niyang calls for his recent matches, feeling ko talaga there's going to be like that definitive answer para kay Folex na sagutin lahat ng pinagbabato ni A7J. It's all in the duel, pero more of the executes para kay A7J and D laban dito kay Folex at CBN.
Exactly. And it does definitely give us a point din, no, and an insider sa kung paano nga ba gumagana ang komunikasyon, no, in between dito sa ating mga teams. At mukhang gigil na itong kasama natin, no? Parang palag na siya dito in getting the match started. Kaya wag na natin paghintayin pa. Ipasa na natin ito para sa muli labanan ng langit at lupa. Sneaky Frog and Salvatore, rakrakan na.
Aming salamat, Amochi and Bipolar. Saksakan puso, tulo ang dugo. Sino nga bang mamamatay dito sa laban ng duelo? FERVID versus Execration. Sneaky, it's like looking like at an arte. No? Napakaganda nga ng matchup nga na to just because of the playstyle of these two teams. Pero art can sometimes degrade no? Pero kasi who will actually be the one to top it all off? No? Execration with this solid roster or FERVID who had this emergency substitution, nakakapagtaka nga naman talaga.
Yun nga, men. Feeling ko na-hype dito yung mga ball knowers natin dito sa community, aka yung mga regular viewers natin sa podcast, pare. Kasi alam naman nila yung context, no, ng dalawang teams na to. Of course, the storylines right behind it. And just like what I said dito sa watch points natin, no, I feel like these are two sides of the same coin. Yung dalawang teams na to, obviously, with a mix of youth and itong with a mix of youth and veterancy para sa dalawang teams. It kind of just felt like FERVID was just a younger version dito ng Execration, no, at some point with Tracifer and Folex kind of having the same vibe na secondary caller sila para dito sa kanilang team, and A7J and MVA kind of parsing yung kung ano yung tama or yung maling call dito. And it just so happens na this is MVA's first year, no, as a captain, and it is already very impressive galing sa kanya, pare. And feeling ko yung na-pick up na experience for his long time stint dito sa MACTA and even right before that is actually benefiting itong Execration, and it has created a very interesting playstyle para sa Execration. It's very proactive but at the same time hindi sila nag-overextend, pare.
Smoke niya ako drabay.
Bro, I'm using
Fall coach ka. Bubulag ka
Mamaya,
ako. Wait nyo kayo.
Rock yung passive doon nilito Ayos yun Di na pigilan Justin. Look at the time, Sneaky. Look at the time. Pasok na kagad sa vents ang Execration. Tracifer makes the defensive play. Pero huli lang din siya sa room A. Sa 3v4 now, Execration making the move. At talagang salyang-salyado na dito yung top A, Sneaky.
Yun nga, men. Lost in translation yung dalawang players natin dito sa A-side, pare. Only losing one member though in the name of Justin, but at the same time, it's not really much of a loss kung apat pa naman yung buhay para dito sa Execration. Pero Yotib spotted na sa boxes, HE sa kanyang ulo. Pero merong pang bench player na pwedeng tumulong sa kanya dito. MVA with the peak, but Yotib with the finish. Fall X, nakabantay, sarado na ka dito sa exit natin, Lons. Sniper in hand, and tatakbo na lang siya dito, pare. I don't think it is gonna be anything miraculous anytime soon galing sa kanya. Pero Execration, napakabilis dito sa kanilang A-take, pare.
FERVID. Kind of feels like napaka-sudden talaga ng move na to, no? Considering they've been screaming with the original roster ng FERVID wherein MZ was there. Tapos kung kailan talaga game day, tsaka pinalit talaga si si Hudge. Or baka may alam si Coach Aris na di natin alam. Pero this Hudge that just looked lost, wanted to play for retake, FERVID. They just got lambasted sa loob nga na A-site. There is still a possibility here that Execration might go for the same play. Pero A7J now on the TRG. Ang kalabanin si UTIP now on floor! A7J is actually on CA. Nakatakas pa nga dun eh, no? So that's one player down for Execration at si A7J hindi pa rin natitigil. Look at the artillery ng FERVID para madali ng onti yung LA push ng Execration. And now A7J forcing to reposition.
Pero susugal yata siya dito pare. At least for the sake of information, no? And it kind of feels like itong si A7J has taken the reins of being the designated risk taker para sa kanyang team. Similar siguro sa ginagawa dito ni Tetsu pare. And I would like to see that, no? Especially knowing na naka-TRG pa siya dito, man. And he has used the CA angle that we have seen time and time again, no? Kahit na sobrang bukas dito ng CA, that cheeky one-way na magagawa mo as soon as you see the entrance and just pop that smoke right in front of it. Napaka-advantageous talaga yan. Pero tignan mo naman yung Execration, instant adjustment, instant setup for the A site. Pero medyo raw yata to pare. Isa lang papasok sa bench and it is gonna be CBN. He's gone sideways. Tracifer getting the first tap pero Fallex adjusting very quick. 2 kills para sa kanila dito. 3 versus 3 somehow, some way. Pero low na dito si Fallex. Mahirap para sa kanya na magdirekta head-to-head fight. With that kind of HP, Lons trying to poke and prod gamit ng kanyang TRG. Pero MBA, kailangan mo munang bumaba, tumayo. Justin on top pace still. Pero tignan mo yung positioning dito ng FERVID pare.
Lons! Finally, pumaldo na. Ang kakaspam niya dito ng TRG daw. Haj trying to anticipate kung meron nga bang Vince. Nandun na nga si Fallex who still got the kill. Haj pagkakasalisihan. Pero pasok na nga rin siya. There goes the flick. Haj gets the double. And the cleanup para sa FERVID. Good timing para dito sa 6-man ng FERVID as they tie the game 1-1.
Grabe. And nakita mo naman yung positions dito ng FERVID, no? Lahat sila na-stuck dito sa top A. Sa Alvi, wala man lang nakatingin dito sa kanila code for LA or CA just for some early confirmation of if ever may papasok ng EA or Vince. And unfortunate lang yan para dito sa ating Execration squad. But at the same time, FERVID very fast on the positioning, no, dito sa mapa natin. Hindi nila minadali yung retake. Instead, minadali nila yung positioning na napaka-importante dito. Pero sayang, sayang yung get back sana dito ng Execration. Sadyang nag-tunnel vision lang sila dito kay Lance.
You heard, no? Nung team comms, nung round number 1 sticky, like Fallex call for a play named Falcons o yun nga ba talaga ang patented rush papuntang Vents? Pero now with Execration with a bit of a slow pace. Doon nakahabol nga ang FERVID, but here comes Execration with a deep angle already, possibly on HM and TB. A7J, we've seen this angle before. Pero napakaluwag naman ng onte. Fallex could go for a double pick. Justin nahuli. Na sumusubok nga dito lang sa may HM. A7J repossession. Still gonna get the headshot now for the double kill. 34 HP na nga lang siya. Haj with a reinforcement para sa mga gustong sumubok for Exe. Napakadami dun. And what a good play for Haj and A7J to stabilize it. Haj, what is happening? And he gets the third. Oh my God, ngayon alam na natin bakit nasa starting lineup si Haj.
Nagigets ko na, Salvi. Nagigets ko na. A7J is literally just playing MZ's role with a sniper, pare. And na-realize yata dito ni Nice Katol, teka lang, we don't need more space. We need another anchor dito sa mapa natin. And Haj is the perfect player for that situation. He was like that before as well. Pero tignan mo naman si Lance, bulag na bulag. Pero pati si Fallex sa bulag dito. HK, it's actually an EBR but not gonna be wall-banging enough para mapatay dito si Lance. 23 HP. And Yotib challenging A7J. HE papunta kay Lance. Both snipers down para sa FERVID. And it's a 3 versus 4. And feeling ko alam to na Execration. FERVID is gonna look for a fight.
There goes the fight, no? Pero off-cam nga tayo. MVA finally takes down the red hot Haj. 3v2, huge man advantage para nga sa Execration, pero C4 hindi pa rin minamatahan na pulutin dito na Exe. Pinapakaramdaman nga nila na baka magpa-CA pa nga dito si D. And there goes Dracifer for the possible crossfire. Justin and CBN playing passive. CBN nagparamdam na nga. The first contact is down. Where is the second? Follow-up para kay Dre. Pero nakakita ka na ba ng Dracifer na corner? Execration tying the game.
And that's just, that's probably coming from the VOD review dito ng ating Execration squad, pare. Kasi alam mo naman, pag 3 versus 4, maghahanap yan immediately ng immediate trade dito sa mapa natin. And speaking of immediate, pare, an immediate shot para kay A7J dito sa bungo ni Yotib. And since wala nang sniper itong Execration, gonna be interesting to see how they will be adjusting for this. Siguro maghahanap muna sila ng pick dito sa mapa natin. Bit of a buddy system between itong kay Justin and kay Fall X at the moment dito sa may mid-side. Could be a B-fake, no? Judging from their position, pare.
Yotib down, pero Execration is still playing it as if may naglalaro pa rin ng Arco, no? Like, they do not want that immediate space papuntang TB, pero they want to control itong unang CA. Okay, finally, nakapaloob na nga sila dito lang sa may LA. Freddy will be the first contact. No nades whatsoever. Nilusob lang nila na parang hilaw pre. Pero itong Dracifer na nga, gets the defense almost with a 180. Folex takes him down. Now a 3v2. A7J, Lance, and Haj could go for a sandwich play. Pero si A7J talaga yung Arctic pa. Yung Arctic pa talaga yung pinaglalurk nyo. Balo ka talaga A7J. Gets the flank. And now Haj moves forward. My God, FERVID. Newly renowned FERVID game plan para sa mga retakes and as well as side takes. Grabe naman FERVID.
Yun nga pare, and just like what I said, A7J is being able to just play weird dito sa mapa natin. And I feel like he's the only one with the priority na ganito maglaro dito sa FERVID this entire time. And I feel like nakita na natin to before, right? A7J, he's really good at positioning, but at the same time, he's really good at surviving pare pagdating sa mga ganitong sitwasyon. He's the delay king, some might call it. So A7J, interesting adjustment para dito sa FERVID, no? Him being the only one playing yung mga off angles natin and always catching a single member off guard. And yan pa naman yung isa sa mga win conditions dito ng FERVID, no? Which is taking that 5 versus 4 and then taking better positions right after it, pare.
Grabe Sneaks, no? The level of familiarity na meron si A7J sa ikot ng utak ni Folex is definitely something na pwede nating ituro talaga, no? Pero pagkalaban na ng FERVID ang team tulad ng Virtus Pro, say the least, no? Parang they just die down in the middle of the round. So, alam mo talagang merong factor dito si A7J para maging komportable nga sila sa pinagagawa nga nila inside of Ankara. Double kill now for CBN. Pasok na nga ulit sila sa may A. Look at the priority for Execration. They've been executing this site for the past 5 rounds. Ganun talaga palo ngayon ng Execration to make this their game. The comfort now for Exe has now dwindled as they now to be under pressure. Lalo't nakatanim na nga sila ng C4. Double flank incoming. Yotib still on Miniter. Di niya alam kung CA niya nga ba uunahin. Balance gets the kill over sa Yotib. Naulo lang nga nakikita. What a crouch pick by A7J. Unti-unti na nawawala sa mundo ang Execration, MVA and CBN. 15 seconds left on the clock. May oras pa para mag-line up si A7J. Here comes CBN. Half blinded sa room A. Nakita na nga CBN spraying. And there goes the kills. Execration recovers for the 2v3.
Once again, I am vindicated dito, no? Salvatore, na nagsasabi ako yung ilalim na hagdan sa room A dito sa Ankara is one of the best anchor positions ever kasi the amount of cover na pwede mo makuha doon. But at the same time, you can't really say na hindi yun well played from the side of Execration. They got, or on the side of FERVID because they got so much space. But at the same time, you can get all the space that you want. Pero ito yung solution dito ng Execration. We're just gonna shoot you in the head. And that's kind of how it is. Nung nangyari dito sa A-site, no, Salvi, it's just, it's really good positions para sa FERVID. Maganda yung nakuha na nila yung LA, no? Pero CBN, man, he navigated his way all throughout those fights very expertly and got a really huge round para dito sa Exe. So, good individual round para dito kay CBN, pare.
Nakita mo, no, MVA, pre. Feel like he didn't have any success sa pagkuha ka ng HM. Kanina naka-Arctic nga siya. Napabalik ng base para makapagpalit pa ka na barrel. And now on the EBR to add that bit of factor in, no? Sneaky na pag umentry nga sila, it's gonna be hella more lethal para sa Execration. If FERVID with Lance down, ganun na rin, no? Para sa side ng A7J, the Arctic will be down for him as well. Para talaga ma-ensure ng FERVID na meron nga talaga silang makikitang success rate doon sa mga duels na ilalaban talaga ng Exe. Pero teka lang pre, magpupumilit dito sila Haj for a deep angle sa may TB. Meanwhile, the two players inside of A, nandyan pa rin nga sila. Sasalisihan nga nila dito ang Exe pre. Kung magpapa-arco ang niisa sa kanila, but it's not gonna be a double lurk anymore. Si A7J na lang to. Of course, it's A7J's call, Sneaky. 5 na nga nagko-converge papunta nga ang hotel. Wala na. Lahat ng Execration nasa kabilang panig ng mapa. The movement of the map is uncanny. Execration makes the right call.
Grabe, this execute looking a bit Vietnamese from the side of Execration. Magkatikit-tikit sila lahat dito sa mapa natin. But Justin's gonna fall on the TP side. That's unforeseen para sa kanya pare, considering how tight the spacing was para dito sa Execration, but no trade was gonna come anytime soon. 37 seconds sila pag nandito yung C4. Execration, ganda ng kanilang setup dito. Dalawa na dito sa TB. If Yotib dies, MVA is gonna swing right after, and Fallex does have coverage dito sa hotel side. Here comes a flash. Bulag na bulag dito si Fallex. MVA with the response. He gets one. A7J trying to jump in, pero mamamatay lang rin siya. Look at that solid line of weaponry sa TV, pare. And FERVID di sila makadaan dun.
Okay, Execration manages to cancel itong magandang lurk nila Haj at the A7J. Kasi ang tagal ni MVA sa arco, pre. Kaya nga siya napapalit ng M14 kasi desididong-desidido na siya na ang gagawin dito ni A7J is going to be a lurk pa CA. So nung hindi nga nila nakuha yung control ng CA mula kay Haj, nagpa-miniter na nga lang sila, and every movement of Execration has been perfect since. With the exception na nauhuli si Justin, ang laking bawi na nakuha nila yung post plant. Now Yotib gets the angle over to A7J. It has been very questionable para kay A7J na i-challenge yun palagi, knowing na ang nakikita lang natin doon is yung ulo ni Yotib. That is a huge sight advantage para dito kay Yotib. It has been very detrimental para dito sa side ng FERVID na yun ngayon nangyayari sa kanilang kapitan. Now with Lance taking the ranks of the sniper dito. Shots need to be important for FERVID. Now let's look at the setup. Pabalik na ulit sila dito ng arco. They might go for B execute once again. C4 na pulot na nga 1 minute and 20 seconds. All members of Execration inside of bypass. Meanwhile, FERVID namamahinga na nga muna sa kanilang mga poste. Still playing for a possible retake.
Pero Execration, once again, this tight spacing was kind of the reason why kung bakit nanalo sila dito sa last round. Kinda was a bit anti-lurk, no? Para sa kanila dito. And since wala na dito si A7J sa mapa natin, no, I feel like they don't really have to worry about the bypass flank anytime soon. So pwede na nilang idiretso dito ang B-side. It is only Lance realistically. Possibly making an impact. CPN already down. C4 is down as well. Pero Yotib taking his sweet time sa paglabas dito ng hotel. Pero napakaganda na flash dito ni Lance, but he gets flanked at the same time. Justin finally taking over dito sa B-side. Nang dumaan sila galing sa likod. Hadges will be getting MVA. Fallex still waiting for the swing D. Nandito na sa batteries. Racer getting Justin. Fallex getting 2. Pero hindi niya matatamaan ang ulo or yung bungo dito ni D. And that will be around on the GR side, pare. Buti na lang.
I think these are one of the most sophisticated plays na binabata ng FERVID at na Execration for the sake of retake. Pati Cytec, napakalupit nga naman. FERVID just manages to delay a lot of time. Lalong-lalo na yung pag-duel dito ni Haj nang tumagal dito ang Execration sa B-slope. Buti na nga lang nakarating kagad. Si D, Dracifer with an angle over to Justin. Grabe naman yun. Justin is now down. In a world where FERVID is struggling inside of Ankara, we now finally see a revitalized FERVID na kaya ng dumuwil sa vents. Medyo may buwelo na pagdating sa mga retakes. C4 still out para sa Execration, though this might be an angle para kunin nga nila yung TB. Pero ang nakikita ko pa rin dito, Sneaky, is Execration still has that one up para humanap nga ng isa and call for that fake.
May crouch peek? No, yun lang. Alam mo naman, you know the rules
No.
of the battle here, Salby. The one who crouch peeks last wins. And Yotib, it just so happens na, you know, he couldn't react to that exact move. Pero CPN, punishing si A7J, masyadong wide ng kanyang crosshair, pare. On the big door swing. And now we're on the 3 versus 4. Ayun lang, lalabas ng biglaan ng vents itong FERVID, but you have to expect this kung kayo yung Execration, especially knowing na meron na silang slight advantage dito. FERVID is gonna press the pressure forward. Pero 1 HP dito si Lance. MVA. Dadaanan niya ba dito si Dracifer? Mukhang sakto yung timing na tumalikod siya doon, pare, at nalagyan pa ka ng bala ang kanyang ulo. CBN. Last one left alive, and Lance will get the headshot. Grabe naman, FERVID, a 5-4 dito sa mapa natin. Pero alam mo yun, Salvi, parang realistically hindi ko nararamdaman yung may lead yung dalawang teams natin. It kind of feels like equal blows being thrown dito sa dalawang teams.
Parang nasa 1-1 pa rin tayo ng Stevie. Like FERVID Execration just exchanging these playmakers.
Pakalik kita ang labang.
Kung nakabaw si B.
Or na 3.
Ako lang eh.
Sige, dalawa kayo dyan.
Sabihin ta, kuya.
Sige.
Tago ka lang muna, Klitz, saglit.
Pag tumagal ya, ano kaya?
Susilip ako.
Hindi.
No need to peek, pre.
It's an
NBA
IGL.
said it best.
No.
Wag.
Wag. We need you for the late
And-
round, pare.
Tapos, the mere fact, pre, na nandun nga siya kasama si MVA, this makes it all sensible. Para si MVA yung mag-call nun mismo. Pero kung wala dun si MVA, ginawa na yun ni Yotib ng mag-isa lang.
XP na yun.
Pero
nagsasalita
mid-choke.
dun sa Albi.
At mid-choke defense, wala na nga. Para sa Execration, they're opting na dumalo na lang pa-B-site.
Is this gonna work though? Medyo late yung mga flashes. Once again, there's a secondary flash incoming for Folex. Ready dito sa TP. Kasama niya si CBN. And what a deadly duo na kailangan daanan ng FERVID. Pero walang makakadaan sa kanila, pare. Nasagasaan lahat ng miyembro na babangga dito kay Folex. Hadges trying and not succeeding. Lance na lang natitira para dito sa FERVID. Still, would not doubt this guy whatsoever. He's still very capable. Pagdating sa kanyang TRG, HE and a flash in hand. Pero USP, mapapagamit siya dito. Considering na low na nga dito si MVA at si Folex and Yotib, one bullet to the head with the USP. Could be the solution to their problems. MVA spotting si Lanza na andito pa rin sa may hotel side natin. And napalipat na si Yotib paloob ng site. Napa-EBR na nga siya dito. And I feel like Execration, they are not placing any bets. Hindi
Scary.
sila mag-risk ng kahit ano dito, pare. Lance, you're gonna have to peek into all three members. USP in hand, Yotib double
Altok,
jumping
no?
para makababa dito ng TV. Ayaw talaga papasukin, pare. And NBA with the drop shot wallbang. And Execration will get the first round on the second half, pare. Grabe naman yun. Paano ka makakadaan sa ganun, pare? CBN at Folex magkatabi sa TV.
Pre, on practice, maganda yon. Kahit nga wala siguro mag-split mula lower bid, okay lang eh. Pero it has to be Folex and CBN making the play. Siguro kung merong isa, Hades angle para magpatibi na lang. Pwede naman sana, but now, FERVID, need to learn the lesson. Tingnan natin na there could be a possibility na FERVID could do it all over again. Papa-base loop na naman sila dito. No, may iiwan si Lance. Kasi, instead of HM, opting for LA.
Uy, nag-swing.
Pero wala namang iikot. Siguro palabas ng A-site. Execration is so deep in mid already. Sila na mismo ang manlalason kay Lance. What is this call? Folex sasalisihan. Pero baka si CBN yung alay dito para sa Miniter.
Lance is
Lance
dead.
sumala. And there goes the kill. Execration now. Nagkukumahog na ka for the possible sandwich play. Ito na nga si Folex. Kamuwang-muwang nga ba kay Folex na alam niya kapapasok na ka sila. Here it comes. Folex and Justin gets the play. What a 200 IQ. Justin and Folex makes the play for Exe.
And ito yung sinasabi ko, Salvatore, about Execration. They can play fast, they can play slow, they can play however they damn want dito sa mapa natin kasi sobrang prepared sila for those kinds of game plans at na-enable pa dito si Folex at si CBN to make very aggressive plays like that, pare. And sometimes you have to risk. And I'm glad na Execration di sila takot sumugal dito sa mapa natin kasi pagdating ng international play natin, pare, yung mga sugal, napaka-essential yan pagdating sa mga ganitong laruan, pare. And grabe. Execration looking prime and ready, pare, for the big stage. Pero masyado malaki yung stage para kay Yotib, pare. And Lance with the long jump dito sa TB.
Jumetpak dito, no? Si Lance. Grabe naman yun. FERVID, one of the most stylish ways para makuha ang 4v5 has now entered into the scene. Sabi, no, Execration, the risk implication na meron nga doon sa round na yun. It's just crazy, no? Pero talaga, FERVID with the risk of their own. Folex, in the most favorite spot dito ni Sticky Frog. Papalagaba. Folex nahuli kasi lumabas. MVA now gets the double kill. CBN nahuli na naman si Lance. History repeating itself sa loob nga ng Militaire. A7J entry pero siya nangalangan na dito. CBN, kailangan mo ng lumusob. Kasi si Justin medyo nahuhuli na nga. 35 HP. And A7J gets the kill. It's backup versus IGL. A7J slays his former teammate. What a clutch for A7J.
And yun nga, it was with a classic dead round muna, pare. Masyado nang mainit ang ating labanan at this very moment. Just when you thought Execration had the round in their hands, of course, in classic A7J fashion, surviving as long as goddamn possible, pare. Lahat ng cover ni, yun nga, no, he's peeking left, right, and center, pare. And the fact na na alam niya pa dun si CBN, no? At the very last second of the round, he pulls out the USP. Absolutely amazing gameplay galing sa kanya, pare. It just seems like we're seeing it all dito sa first map natin, pare. We are seeing the pushes, we are seeing the executes, we are seeing, I think we barely have seen any fakes, no? It has been just straight up executes papunta sa mga sites natin, pare. But ayun nga, man, it kind of feels like Execration and FERVID have to pull out all the stops para lang makakuha ng round win dito, pare.
We're getting treated, no, Sneaky, sa mga nakakita ng mga ganitong klaseng laruan. Sana talagang umingiti ka na mula kabilang tenga kasi these are high-level plays. Hindi lang to basta-basta talaga. Like, the amount of space na nakukuha ng Execration bilang GR, the risk that it has to be taken para sa side ng Execration na gawin yung mga plays na yun is just crazy. Yung ginagawa ng FERVID na sangkaterbang util sa binabatawa nila for A7J to entry, kahit nahuhuli nga si Lance, the act of recovery here for FERVID is just that crazy. Pero ito na ata yung pinakadikit na round na meron nga tayo, Sticky, no? Just goes to show na meron talagang depensa ang Execration at merong opensa ang FERVID. Kaya nilang pigilan yung pag-iinit dito ni Justin at ni MVA as body system sa loob ng top A. Kaya din pigilan ng FERVID yung mga pinagagawa dito nila CBN at nila Folex. So, it's that balance, no, Sticky? So, I love this matchup. You're definitely right on parang nakikita lang na Execration yung sarili nga nila sa isang salamin as FERVID. Probably the same sentiments as well. The one factor talaga, si A7J yung nagiging X factor dito, Sneaky, kung bakit nga nila nababasa thoroughly ang Exe.
Yeah, and of course, I think para kay A7J, no, kaya yung sinabi ko kanina, he's kind of like fulfilling yung role dito ni MZ, no, of being the guy that is gonna be kind of off-kilter yung kanyang laro dito, pare. And it kind of is required para sa kanya considering how, standard the game has been so far dito sa mapa natin. And ayun nga, it's very nice to see na yung dalawang teams natin in terms of yung macro level natin, o pwede nga natin masabi na this could rival yung mga teams na nakikita natin dito sa international stage at EWC or maybe even dito sa ating grand finals. And this is just the evolution ng mga players natin on both sides of the map, pare. And in all honesty, ayun nga, no, it is very similar, kagaya ng sinabi ko nga kanina. The fact is, yung Execration, nakita natin yung round kanina, no, pare, that was the exact same way na nagre-retake itong FERVID. Nung nag-A-take dito, yung Execration, they were taking long, they were taking CA, making sure meron silang early positions doon bago makababa dito yung C4. And it just so happens that Execration, right place, right time para sa kanila, pare. And para naman sa FERVID, it is a bit shoddy para sa kanila yung timing, pero nagagawan pa rin nila ng paraan, pare, dahil kay A7J.
Man, it all leads back to A7J on how his influence is definitely felt para sa FERVID, no? Pero sa mga talagang ball knowers dyan, ng ating community, pag nanood ka ng mga laban tulad ng The Vicious, GK, no? Evolution Power, lalong-lalo na din talaga dito ang all gamer sa loob ng Akara, it's definitely like this, itong FERVID versus Execration. Sa high-level strat na binabato pa lang nila MV at Folex para gawin yung ginawa nila sa bypass kanina. Yung FERVID na nagkukumahog, hinahabol ang oras para lang makakuha ng B-site entry nang hindi nagsasayang ng oras because it's that one act of destroying the tempo of the enemy team. Definitely is that coded, no? So, Execration and FERVID, world class. Best of 3 ang nakikita natin nga ngayon. A7J now takes itong control sa loob nga ng Hukay D with a good swing. Kasi Yako Silent Brothers ang namumuno na ating kill feed nga ngayon. Pero si CBN tatanggalan ng bungo ang dati niyang kapitan sa matches. So 4v3 still. Hindi pa stabilized dito ang Execration, ha?
Yun nga, CBN was kind of forced to full swing there, para hindi niya alam kung may nakapasta ng TB or RS. So he had to take the fight immediately dito. 2 versus 4 though. Really good mid take from the boys over at FERVID, pero Folex adjusting yung dalawang natitira dito para Tracer in a very nice position in spawn and headshot para dito kay D. Looking for another head-to-head dito kay Folex. Folex getting two. Teka lang, kumalma kayo dito, FERVID. And Lance making sure na makukuha niya yung round na yun, pare. Nilabas na ang USP, niratrat niya na, pare. And that will be a 7-6. What an opening para dito sa FERVID. A7J obviously with a better spawn, nakarating siya dito sa Hukay. At dahil distracted yung mga members dito ng Exe, D just allowed to go for the full swing para ma-secure nila yung HM control, pare.
Sabi pre, no? Nabasa na nga ni A7J na A-player palagi si Yotib. So, madali lang nila makukuha yung Hukay, no? So, with that kill, talagang nag-ignite dito ang opensa ng FERVID. Pero, kung hindi man si Yotib, si MVA naman to. Kaso tumalikod na nga, tumiwalag dito si Kapitan. MVA goes behind. Nakita na nga yun ng punishment dito for FERVID. So, 4v4, Hutch, napakalalim nga kagad. Not even an execute here for FERVID. This is just them taking space. Pero with no duels after the MVA elimination. How will Execration be able to convert this into a round? Lalo't mga nakahawak pa rin sila ng kanya-kanya mga spawn. FERVID now amplifying itong round nila with a possible fake.
Yun nga, no? This is where the fear comes in para sa Execration. Obviously, 2-2 yung kanilang forced na setup na dito pare. And one side of the map is gonna get poured more than the other. Tracifer, masyado makulit dito sa EA. Justin will take him out with a wallbang. Pero hindi dun pa parating ang push ng ating FERVID squad. It is actually all the way in the B side pero walang ideya dito. Execration, they're looking at high mid. No one is looking at TB with the exception of Yote. Pero tignan mo naman ang pagkakyat dito ni D. Nakuha na agad sa CBN. And that'll be the double kill para dito kay D. The young gun stepping up to the plate para dito sa FERVID. And it's a 3 versus 2. Pero tignan mo naman yung HP ni Justin at Tifolex pare.
Easy target practice na lang to para dito kay D. Pero Folex needs to slay 3 members na puno-puno pa nga talaga ng buhay. 8 na lang para kay Folex. There goes another kill for Lance. The largest lead of the game so far, Sneaky. At kinakailangan muna mag-YB ng Execration sa mga nalalaman nila.
Kailangan pare, parang hindi nila naagapan yung dalawang openings na pinresent nga dito ni A7J at ni Dino dito sa mapa natin. And I was actually questioning a bit, no, Salvi, na ano kaya magiging itsura ng frontline offense dito ng FERVID, no? Especially fully knowing wala na si MZ. Wala nang space provider para dito kay D. And it just so happens na ayun nga, tama yung theory ko sa start ng game. And A7J is now taking MZ's role and kind of guiding his little brother, no? Masasabi natin na, okay, nandito yung kalaban. Lil bro, ikaw na bahala dito. You will slay the rest of these opponents and it is working out really well para ka dito sa FERVID. And Hadges doing a really nice job of being, I wouldn't say yung full lurk, no, para sa kanyang team, but he also will take yung weak side ng mapa para sa kanila dito just in case na may dadaan galing dito sa side ng Execration, which most likely meron yan pare, especially knowing yung tendencies dito ni CBN. So FERVID covering all of the stops dito ng Execration. Execration might be forced to do something drastic dito sa mapa natin pare.
Gano'n nga ba ka-drastic yun, pre? Kasi we've seen it all. Or baka nga ba, nakita na natin lahat after all those amazing plays ng Execration to reclaim some rounds na inaakala natin maganda na yung entry ng FERVID. I thought that was definitely the peak of Execration pero meron pa palang ilalalim. Pero etong FERVID, they've taken the dead round time to a whole nother level, no? Parang mas napalago nga nila yung entries nga nila from D and Lance, two of the prodigies na meron tayo for FERVID. Na very fitting, no? Ang tanging tumatalo sa depensa nila Folex and CBN are two formidable players din para sa side ng FERVID. Kita mo nga naman, Lance is very confident now. Yun yung sinasabi ko dito, no? We've always had this discussion, ba't nga ba nagfa-fall off si Lance sa mga ganitong klaseng senaryo? Kumpiyansa, no? Parang nahihinaan siya ng loob pag nagiging negative na nga yung KD niya, but kind of looks like he's having fun. Napapasunod niya naman dito sila A7J for the setup. At si Lance, alam mo talaga na confident yung mga angles na kinukuha niya because after those 2 fights with CBN sa Miniter, napalago niya na yung mga iba niyang pwesto na outside of those deep angles sa loob nga ng pwesto ng Execration. Ngayon, Lance, taking a role as the entry na dapat talaga mas volatile. Napapadali pa para kay Lance. So I feel like FERVID, everyone now is on a roll. Hindi lang talaga si Tracifer at sila Hadje. It's definitely everyone who's taken a bit of a jump pagdating talaga sa opensa.
Uy, very quick shoutout pala pare. Ang lahaba naman ng listahan ni Boss Cabales. Shoutout Wara, MOTV, Loco, Macta, and Crystal. And according to my brain, no, that is yung mga OG clans natin dito sa ating labanan.
Shoutout sa Crystal.
Shout out sa MOTV, they have been around for quite a while. Parang sa mga ibang laro rin din na i-encounter ko sila dito. So shout out to MOTV specifically, pare. Pero yun nga, FERVID versus Execration. Back to the ball game natin, pare. 2-3 setup. Justin on the tower side. Medyo delikado yan, pare, unless may dadaan na high main. Pero Tracifer, naspatan agad dito si Justin. Tracifer pumasok ng spawn. At napaspawn agad dito si MVA. He's gonna fall. Justin is gonna fall as well. Pero tignan mo naman yung bilis dito ng Execration para kung rumisponde. Folex is running on into the B-side. Go! Double kill para sa kanya! CBN getting Tracifer as well. What a plot twist dito sa push ng FERVID na dapat sila yung nasa lead at the moment. Pero yung problema ka lang, all 3 members counted para sa Execration na pumasok na dito ng B-side. A7J in a very weird spot pero mali yung tinitignan na dito para left, right, or center. Folex, easy gonna know about this pero meron palang kahon. Pero check na yung kanyang corner. Good mechanics from your boy. Checking every single one. And pakiramdam ko pare kahit tatlo yung dumaan dito sa exit. it will be a full rain through. Pero dahil nga na-distract na ni A7J ng medyo matagal ang mga players dito ng Execration.
Sneaks.
Is it planted for tower? Mukhang hindi. CBN,
Look at this.
a bit late on the check. Nag-fake pa sila ng defuse pare.
Rinig na,
Pero
rinig
di pumasok at masyado nang late na pumasok dito sa ating A site. That will be a defuse and Execration winning off of the timeout.
Split second na pre na hindi siya nakapasok ng RS doon. Could have saved a lot of time para dito kay D for that attempt. Grabe yung pagbaliktad doon ng Execration. The gun spoke. Nung hindi nga nila magalaw yung mga paanga nila, no, Sneaky, the Execration defense once again prevailed. And FERVID will be doing an attempt once again to make it a deep push sa palong nga ng HM. Pero Execration gumagawa din ng sarili nga nila play. Nalalapasan na nga nila yung LA nga ngayon with Lance. Siya nga ande-depensa possibly pero wala naman siyang makukuha. Atras ang Execration as S7J falls. Here comes two players now inside of Execration's office, no, pre, sa loob nga ng hotel. Para ma-cut off lahat ng manggagaling nga dito. B-slow players inside of B for FERVID. Here comes the plant.
Yeah. And I feel like Execration also recognizing na kailangan nila maglaro na medyo unconventional dito para so a forward defense para sa kanila. Lons will be getting fall next though. Big loss para sa kanilang retake. Here comes a flash towards TP. MBA, nakuha na nga dito si Lons. Pero Hatches with a good hold dito sa TP so far. MBA will be getting him. Pero buhay na buhay pa nga sa dito. On-site. 15 seconds, HC to the head, pero buhay na buhay pa rin. D will go for the full swing gamit ang kanyang USP. D time and time again, saving FERVID from certain doom. And 9 and 7 men, akala ko Execration nasa kanila yung upper hand, pero FERVID naging plot twist ng second half.
Grabe, men. Kumpara mo naman yung dinedra ng FERVID laban timeout ng Execration. Araw-gabi talaga yun, no? FERVID elevating their plays, especially from the lethalness dito ni Hadje, no? Grabe nga naman ang entries ng FERVID despite a very good kill count para sa side ng Execration. Mapa 1v2 pa nila yon. Sa dami ng plot twist ng mapa na to, Sneaky, kala mo pelikula talaga, pero baka pelikula nga naman talaga ang nakikita natin dito. The amount of action na fino-force ng FERVID na nakakasabay naman ng Execration and vice versa. It's just that crazy.
Grabe, men. Yung matagal na natin inaantay na series is living up to expectations. Pero Polex spamming the fence site. Pero tawalo naman dito si Hadges. D will be getting Justin as well. Wala ng tao dito sa A site. Para sa Execration. Flash on Hadges. MVA having to do some early damage dito sa mga players na nasa top A. First spray. Headshot agad para kay Hadges though. 3 versus 2. Low itong si D at si Hadges. So it will be an A. Wala na silang HE para sasabihin ko pa lang they need to throw an HE in the middle. Out in the open. CBN and Yotiv going for the full swing. Wala pang plant na naibaba dito. They want to guarantee the frags first. CBN will be walking in. Hadges will be going down. D going down as well. Pero Yotiv tried to go for the drop shot. But of course, how poetic. The head-to-head. Lons will be getting Yotiv and FERVID taking Ankara in a absolutely surprising fashion, pare. Hindi ko to in-expect galing sa kanila. I was expecting more of a disconnected FERVID dito sa mapa natin, pero hindi natin nakita yun, men. I was thinking na,
Grabe, men.
you know, Hadges will have a hard time kind of adjusting dito sa role ni MZ considering how hard it is. Pero sinabi dito ni A7J, hindi. Ako na lang maglalaro ng role namin. You will be playing more of the anchorish, you know, second entry, third entry kind of style para dito sa FERVID. And it worked beautifully dito sa Ankara, pare. D was also popping off as well.
Man, pubikit ka lang. Marami kang mamimiss out na mga action dito, no? Sa sobrang bilis. Bilang lang sa daliri, Sticky, na nagiging segundo yung natitira dito sa oras nga natin. FERVID and Execration exchanging BL sides. Tas yung pasok nga nila sa loob nga ng site, 1 minute and 30, 1 minute and 20. FERVID always forcing these amazing fights of HM, pati na nga rin sa TB. Execration wants to duel sa LA. Naging hesitant nga sila. Bumalik nga sila playing for that possible retake. Pero nung rumisponde naman sila, ubos naman, pre. Everything na binatong flowchart ng FERVID at umikot lang din kay A7J kasi siya nga yung absolute caller dito ng FERVID, pre. The level of dueling ng FERVID mula nung week 3 hanggang week number 4, grabe nga naman talaga yung pinagkaiba, men. Yung approach na binabato talaga ni Lance, pati na nga rin ni D, nang makuha talaga nila yung mga easy double kills. Napakaganda nga naman talaga. For them to have this amazing setup wala kay A7J and Dracifer is definitely gold para sa FERVID. Man, Execration, where did it all go wrong? Hindi na tayo nakasabay sa agos ng FERVID at tayo'y magkikita-kita na nga sa loob ng Black Widow. Pero syempre, marami pang masasabi dyan ng ating panel. Standing by, Mochi and Bipolar. Anong masasabi nyo?
Parang marami kaming masasabi dito na maraming salamat sa ating mga casters, Tiki Frog, and as well as Salvatore. Una sa lahat, yung ating predictions, wala na kaagad. Second, ang tindi ng FERVID right now. And it does seem that the substitution of Haj dito sa kanilang lineup definitely made sense. And third, parang pinagbiyak na buko yung galawan nila dito sa mapa natin, Bipolar.
Yeah, I mean, it's this, ito nga sinabi natin, no Mochi, it is almost, parang mirror matchup lang tayo dito, no? You have Execration and FERVID having similar playstyles, having similar firepower, pero kung makikita mo dito ngayon, no, that slight mix-up dito sa ating roster for the side of FERVID na sa A7J nga, nag-lurk na lang, actually got the role of MZ. Sabi nga din ni Haj, sige, I'll just play itong second entry natin or at least yung ating anchorage tool nga sinabi ni Sticky Frog was the key factor para makuha natin dito yung big wins for FERVID, especially in the BL side dito ng FERVID na nakawala sila ng todong-todo na pa-force out pay timeout ng Execration, and after that, timeout win mula sa Execration, sabi ng FERVID, we can close this out immediately kasi grabe si Haj, tumatama yung mga ulo niya dito every time that HK is online, he gets headshots. Pero on the GR side or on the post plant naman dito nung nasa BL side pa tayong Execration, ang ganda, Mochi. You saw it, great place, great post plant place kung saan kung makakapasok man kayo, you're already dead. There was a good spot dito mula kay CBN para kay Fall X na on the GR side in the first few rounds dun sa ating second half. Talagang it was a body-body system eh. And that's so scary.
Yes.
You have two high-ranking top fraggers in terms of headshots going at you and just playing as two. A duo that can battle up against 5 is crazy, pero sabi ng FERVID, we can still outfrag you with the help of A7J, with the help of Dre Cipher. Ang daming gambles, ang daming bets, ang daming set plays, pero all it took was FERVID taking their sweet time and actually executing them. I would like to say na wala naman masyadong firepower, wala naman talagang masyadong spotlight dito for our snipers, pero a little commendation dito para kay Lance kasi he won those fights up against Yotim. Nakita mo naman yon from peaks dito sa may LA pag mag-retake sa GR side dito si Lance, he got the kill kay Yotim na nag-aantay lang sa Minitel. And even when they were on the PL side, nakipita si Yotim sa very comfortable spot ka dito sa TV, pero at the end of the day, man, Haj, di na naman kailangan mag-doubt because you absolutely rained hellfire up against Execration. And for them to do this in the first set, ang gandang simula niyan. Mochi, look at that Haj! 18 kills and 12 deaths! 100% rating, just like Folex na 21 and 30.
Grabe, no? Itong dalawang players natin definitely stood up to the occasion. But unfortunately here, no, I feel like natamasa ni Yotim ang kanyang kryptonite na ang kanyang kapwa sniper nitong si Lance. And also, given yung mga switch roles din nila dito, no, which is very, very interesting to say the least dito sa FERVID. Kasi parang nagkakaroon ng additional layer of thinking dito si Execration, and knowing that they rely on the collaborative decision making, it requires a lot more time for them to actually think of things, what to do next, especially that they always react on the fly. And as much as we definitely acknowledge the structure na meron dito for Execration, well, oh my, such of a challenge na inilapag sa kanila dito ng FERVID, no? At parang yung binanggit nila dito na pagbawi for FERVID, parang nalagyan pa ng question mark. Kasi ang nag-sub-in natin dito lang naman ng MVP dito sa mapa ng Ankara, definitely proving na siya ang alas, siya ang sikretong sangkap para manalo ang FERVID dito sa ating mapa ng Ankara.
Alam mo, nice Katol, you're cooking up something, no, for this FERVID squad, and putting Haj up against Execration was the best decision so far that you have made. Oh my goodness. Bonjour sa'yo, Haj, no? Kasi parang pwede talaga makaabot ng EWC kahit si Haj eh.
There is that potential indeed, no? Parang hindi na natin makakaila given this type of structure. Nakikita natin sa dalawang teams natin ngayon, no? Pero parang na one-upan nga lang nga talaga itong si Execration, now FERVID. And this is the introduction na meron tayo sa ating matchup so far. It is still Execration against FERVID Esports na sa ngayon, grabe ang ipinakita ng FERVID. But the question is, will Execration be able to top that sa ating susunod na mapa? Malalaman natin yan maya-maya. Tayo ay nagbabalik dito sa ating labanan na kung saan nakita na natin kung ano nga bang meron. At nagkaroon tayo ng gantong mapa, gantong lineup, gantong sub-in para dito sa FERVID Esports. At ngayon, I wonder, would the same thing happen sa ating susunod? At tingin mo ba makakabawi ang Execration dito, Bipolar?
Ayun na nga na, Mochi, hindi natin alam kung ano yung mangyayari dito just because itong players natin have never played itong Black Widow for the entirety of group stage. Alam natin, kaya, nag 8v8 naman itong mga to, alam nila mag-set place, especially for the likes of FERVID, but for Execration, we don't really have a question mark, but we are excited for them to actually give us a power dito sa ating Black Widow, especially that these sides will be very, very fruitful. Plus, kung hindi natin nakita na naglaban ang ating Starps todo dito and nag-pop off parang palagi lang good for one dito sa mapang Tamochi in Black Widow, saka natin may kita yun. And it's gonna be amazing, no, na we have a map that can actually give a lot of plays para sa individual players natin. It's not just set plays, but the clutch potentials will be at an all-time high and we might have a very interesting game. Hopefully, we go into New Mexico para mas matamis, no, at aariba pa tayo hanggang mamaya.
Lalong gugulo, no? Pero pinatapak tayo dito sa ang kartas ngayon, ito, tapos mamaya New Mexico. Imagine, no? Imagine the potential of the things na maaaring mangyari dito sa mga mapang ito, lalong-lalo na with how FERVID is actually performing right now. Pero, we'll see kung meron nga bang bira at bawi dito ang Execration. Ipasa na natin to sa ating mga casters, Salvatore and Sneaky Frog.
Thank you, Mochi and Bipolar. Tayo dadako na nga sa pinaka out of this world na mapa, no? That being Black Widow. Kalahin mo nga naman, second time in the day na napili nga itong mapa nga na to, Sneaky. So, feeling ko, bumabalik na nga si Black Widow bilang Philippines best na mapa eh. Pero, FERVID to pull Black Widow out of the ordinary dito, no? After prioritizing Eagle Eye or even Port for countless amount of times, dito na papasok bigla yung Black Widow. Ay matchup na, ang kalaban pa nila is Execration, di ba? Like, bakit eto na? Ba't bigla na lang naglalabas ng surprise ang FERVID sa isang series na alam mo talagang malaki yung stakes?
I think very well aware naman dito yung FERVID, no, pagdating sa inexperience dito ng Execration, and they probably prepared it beforehand na, okay, this is gonna be the map na mag-guarantee sa atin na, you know, makakapasok tayo dito sa playoffs or at least give us the fifth win, no, that is very well coveted para sa kanila at the moment. And since wala tayong statistics, no, on both teams dito sa Albi, parang we really have to draw from individual experiences here galing sa mga players natin, you know, kagaya nga dito ni A7J, the Dracifer, obviously, nung nakasama pa nila si Folex, no, back in the day. And I think if I'm not mistaken, Vanguard back in the day, they had the nasty Black Widow pare, and honestly one of the best B-side takes that you can ask for, yung mga papatong sila dun sa big box right next to the window pare, and they would just wait there the entire time. And honestly, yun nga, no, one of the best innovations I've seen as of recent to. Pero medyo kalat na kasi experience natin on the side of the Black Widow, yun nga, no, since Folex, CBN on the other side of the server na nga dito pare. But at the same time, yun nga, no, CBN as well, Matches had a really good Black Widow back in the day. If I'm not mistaken, they were one of the best Black Widow teams nung when he was still wearing that white and red jersey pare. And of course, with the Macta players, ano ba naman natin yan, Black Widow, one of their favorites. But here comes the comms.
Ooh! O, safer, pisto ko.
1 HP yung yung lads. Paalang naman, nagpahulog.
Dalawang Arctic pa rin yata. May naka-Arctic
na.
Ay, nako.
Kill ko sarili kong hype eh, no?
To be fair, no, ginagawa ko rin yan, man. You're also very well aware of it. Sometimes you have to hit in your own shots, pare. Kasi minsan nagugulat mo na yung sarili mo eh.
Drop shot eh, no?
To be fair,
Ay,
that was
nako.
nasty.
Pro players never fail to amaze me talaga, pre. Pero sa LB, kung may nangyari malupit, posible nga bang may mangyari malupit dito lang sa may A side. A7J, good defense. Justin nakuha na kasi Edge dito. A7J, di man lang nakalingon. Papuntang S at pasok na ang tatlo sa loob ng A side. Retake now for FERVID.
Honestly, it could be the best thing na he can ask for, no? Dun sa ganun sitwasyon, para nakakuha pa siya na isa na dito sa long, open things up or open another entrance up, no? Para sa kanilang retake. Pero CBN having to be responsible for both window and itong long A. Pero yun nga, spotted na nga siya ng isang long player natin. Dracifer confirming on CBN, pero Lance mamamatay dito sa window A. D spotted on short. Good shot though. Galing dito kay Folex. Gets the golden. 15 seconds left. Dracifer kailangan na pumasok. Wala na masyadong oras ang C4, pero mahuhulog na lang siya dito sa long A. Really good early positions being taken dito ng FERVID, pero Execration with the better shots.
Ay, Execration, parang kinansela agad yung pag-ceremonies dito na nilans laban kay Yotib. With a bit of a very ballsy push dun sa loob ng S. Problema nga lang dun talaga, no, for Execration, it was definitely a risk that they were worth taking for, no? Pero FERVID, I feel like na wala naman masyadong mata sa loob nga ng S, and Execration saw this as an opportunity for them to rush it in. Forcing the 3v3, napakalayo nga ni Dracifer, so the separation of fights was easy para sa Exe. Ngayon, not a lot of action now sa loob nga ng S. Kasi nga, Execration is prioritizing that they might go for LA instead. Probably go for S once again. Actually, no, nung nakita nga nila bakante yung stage, baka pwede naman silang pumunta nga ng S and A7J! Papakausap kita sa referee. Pero Folex, pasok na nga dito. No? Hodge na gets him down. Justin alongside MVA, the former Pacific Macta brothers. Here comes the body system. Body-body nga talaga sila. And A7J takes one out of the two brothers. Justin left all alone. LA stranded. Ang kapal ng usok. Di man lang makita ni Justin yung kalaban niya. 2 kills from FERVID inside of the smoke. Kitang-kita mo kung sino may X-ray ngayon.
Yun nga, both A7A and Lance as well now starting to rocking double sniper setup, no, which could be very effective pagdating sa mapa ng Black Widow up until that point. Pero
Sila
MBA
din.
also kinda known for his sniping, pare. He's gonna get that short play. But at the same time, kung ikaw si Hadges dito or at least si A7J, you know, you would want to see if you can get a bit of a risky gamble, no, especially knowing na baka mapatay mo pa yung sniper dito sa high mid, pare.
Oh, grabe nun, pre. For Hodge to contest yung frame no, hindi siya sniper, gotta give props, ha. It's like, okay bros, okay boss, nasa epical ata tayo.
Who you feel
Pero mali
like?
mo nga naman, it was information. Arco nakalampas na nga dito, Execration. Meanwhile, Dracifer and the rest of the crew stacking dito sa ating stage. Meanwhile, a win-B player now for the side of FERVID. The Dracifer gets cleared. And there goes the kill. Dina with a fall X kill. CBN. Papalitan din to kagad now. Yotib, saan ka nang galing? Gets the lurk on POC. Kitang binte. Piso na lang si A7J. Once again, Sneaky Frog, we're getting treated into an execution fiesta sa loob ng Black Widow. 4v1, A7J left all alone sa stage. Saktong-sakto, kitang-kita sa lahat ng mga mata ng tao. Diyan ka mamamatay sa entablado. 2-1 Execration.
Yun nga, man, and that is a execute as old this time, no? Pagdating dito ng Black Widow, pare, 4 players on the B side, tas biglang may lalabas ng long, which just so happens to be the sniper. And it is effective, no, whether or not na nakahawak siya ng sniper or rifle lang, as long as ma-provide na nga yung pressure galing dito sa backside. But at the same time, I feel like, you know, 5 versus 4 at the start of the round, nahulma na agad dito ng Execration kung anong game plan yung kailangan nilang gawin. Pero FERVID, not deterred by yung last round natin, pare. Dracifer in a really good position. You have to double jump in this spot, so is this gonna be checked?
Dracifer. Sila na mismo sasagot yan, Sticky. Na-check naman nila. Kaso kailangan nila ng unang alay dito. With a 1-for-1 exchange. Sa MVA, nakatanggap nga din ng onting bawas sa kanyang buhay. So I technically can still think na that is going to be a 2-for-1. No? Inaantay lang talaga natin yung turnover nito para sa side ng FERVID. Ngayon, MVA still with the Arctic. Very lethal indeed. Parang wala na ata nakikita success dito si Yotib. Kaya bumalik na nga siya ng HM. Probably reuniting with Execration sa loob nga ng LB. D, on store. Kailangan nila i-clear. Folex hindi nga sumusubok. B site is definitely hard to retake. At yun yung gusto dito na Execration, mahirapan ng FERVID na mga lakap ng pwesto. The problem is, FERVID does have a very good setup na hindi pinapayagan ng Execration with this lethal high-low.
And it'll just get harder, no? If ever pupunta nga sila dito sa B-site, smokes will make it very hard to see kung merong tao na naandito na nakapatong kung nasan yung posisyon ni D. However, different route, Execration. Sabi nila, mid na lang tayo dadaan. Kung may smoke dito sa B, might as well go mid. But the problem is, fast reactions gotta get A7J. A7J with a quick scope dito kay CB and Folex. Getting taken down by Hadis. Yotib at MVA na lang natitira. Both on the sniper. MVA having to hold that the entire round considering he did kill the short player. Pero yun lang, Hadis will be getting Yotib, MVA, the last one left alive. And I'm not sure if he can do much with this sniper, pare. Pero makukuha niya pa dito si D. MVA pretty good on the HK417. Pero nandito na si A7J. A bit too excited para mapanalo yung round natin, pare. 8 seconds left. The C4 miles away. At tinalon na lang dito ni Hadis. Grabe naman yun, men. What a back and forth.
RT, Hadj is the answer to everything, pre. Si Hadj ang sagot sa mga nakakatakot na tanong. At kung bakit nga ba pinalitan si MC kalagitnaan ng series, ito na nga ang pinakamalakas na sagot. FERVID with one of the most CBF calls dito. Lance ng boga ng dalawa. Wala man lang nagawa si Yotib para makapag-rebut man lang. So now, Execration on the opposite end. Si MBA naman gagawa para sa Exe, but it's still a 4v3. Now a 3v3 dahil dito kay MBA. A one-man wrecking crew ngayon, si El Capitan. Lance going back to LA. Yun lang palang ginawa ni MBA. Pre, ang pakay niya lang i-clear itong Storby para makabuelo sila Justin.
I think aware naman dito yung Execration. Just like what I said about the habits of FERVID, they love to extend their leads or immediately try to go for the plays dito sa mapa natin. Pero A7J spotting, pero napalabas siya ng kabaong, pero mamamatay lang rin siya. Hadj rounding the corner. Smoke, nades, flashbangs, siniretso na lang, pero Folex ready. Gamit ang kanyang USP, was waiting for that swing. Lance na lang natitira. Granted, ang ganda ng boga mo sa dalawa na naandito sa long, pero kailangan mo pa pumoga ng tatlo dito. Pero USP ang gagamitin niya. Folex on very low HP. Napakit dito sa window B. Spotted na nga si MBA pero nabawasan na nga siya dito. Justin making it easy for him. Just shooting him in the head. Execration collect the point.
Well, this is one heck of a game, no? Talagang challenge ng FERVID lahat ng mga pushes dito na Execration, especially pag sumusubok nga sila na mag-LA, pati pa LB, no? Lance doing the same thing all over again. Now with the smoke. Baka sakaling makapanlason nga si Lance.
Bulok.
Flash, hindi na-apektuhan masyado. CBN now gets Lance. Kailangan na nga umatras doon ni Lance because it's going to be too much. But I feel like he saw CBN and Yotib. Pero dahil nga doon, the punishment and the over-aggression which is too much now for FERVID. Hindi na nga makakapal doon si Lance. Now on the opposite end, after LA, after nga nila maklear to, dito naman sila ngayon sa LB. Ibang posisyon na nga si Dracifer. But will it be a different outcome? A7J with the crossfire sa may CB. Napakaganda for FERVID. Pero isa lang ang makukuha dito ni CBN as they get the first contact now. Nakikita yung barrel. Yotib na lason at CBN miraculously with 11 HP. Gets A7J. Hadj left all alone. Imagine makuha niya dito si CBN. He's gonna get it. Yotib nakatago and C4 down inside of LB. Sixth man versus main man. Arctic versus HK. Hadj nakita na nga. Yotib sumupok. And there goes the swing. And Yotib wins the fight. How the hell is that possible? And Execration. Largest lead so far.
Nawalan ng bala dun si Hadj at the very last second at nakabawi naman dito si Yotib. Kaltok and the body shots para sa kanya, pare. And what a resounding return to form para dito sa Execration. They needed that one. Especially to get back into this game. That's for sure nagulat dun yung FERVID para they thought they had the upper hand dito sa round natin. Honestly, ang ganda ng positioning na nakita natin dito sa bridge from Dracifer and dito kay Lance, pero hindi nila na-maximize, pare, unfortunately. That was supposed to be a point for FERVID, pero ayun nga, this series is full of plot twists, pare.
Yotib, ewan ko na lang kung napatagos po to sa metal. Pati sa kahoy ng ter. And now Lance repositioning. Babalik nga siya ng POC dito, which is very scary. Akalain mo nga naman, Lance, both on head glitch angles. Pero nandun si CBN for the insurance policy. Pero teka lang ha, after garnering LB control, dito na nga sila sa LA. Nagulat na lang si Lance, Hadj and D. Gonna get 2 kills para sa side of FERVID. A7J fully aware na meron na nga nasa sa S. Pero Dracifer taking down MVA, cancels any push for Execration. Late entry nga si Yotib pero inaasahan niya na mabibigyan siya ng space. It's now down to Yotib once again. You did it last round pero dalawa na ang kalaban mo. Masyadong malakas ang dalawa para sa isa. Buti naman tumama na ang mga numero dito sa laron to. FERVID finally putting back the lead to 1.
Sakto rin yung ego dito ng FERVID, pero hold that thought pare. D pushing towards mid side, just taking out Justin. CBN will get 1 in return, pero Lance, ooh, look at this aggression though, galing kay FERVID. All sides of the map may fight sa sitwasyon na to, pati si Haz na panalo na yun sa kanya. CBN with a trade-off para sa kanyang teammate, pero yung problema, mag-isa na lang siya dito sa base. Alam nila na magagaling siya ng alley at nasa loob na siya ng base. CBN, headshot king, pero nag-climb up na lang dito si Dracifer for the full spray. And FERVID, grabe na tie up na nila agad yung game. All that momentum galing sa X now gone.
All goes back to the matches game, Sneaky. Did they over-prepare against Virtus Pro and Stallions para dumikit talaga ang FERVID? And now, Execration leading the kill feed ng mabilisan lang para kainin ko yung mga sinabi ko. No? Lance and A7J falling, 2 snipers. Pero si Haj, tila napapalit ka agad eh. No? Wala pa naman nababatong bala dito. Si Haj and Dracifer nakaltukan. Yotib wants to go for the wallbang. Pero mas tumatama yung EBR ni Dre. Finally, Yotib. And Dracifer with an ego. Sinlaki ng mundo. Grabe nga naman na 2v5. Imagine if D and Haj, the standout sa Ankara, na hanggang ngayon nararamdaman pa rin sa Black Widow, could pull this off. Now Justin swinging. There goes the headshot. Masyado na mahirap to para kay Haj. 1v5. Now on the Arctic. Sumala ang Boga. Yotib. Laban dito kay Haj. Parang nakita na natin to. Pero si Haj na ang nanalo. Drops down. Napakadami sa loob ng B site. The hardest site to retake. Tanggap na ni Haj.
Yeah. I mean, with a sniper, no, it's basically next to impossible at this point. Nad's just gonna use the rest of the time to talk to his team about this defense, or about this offense rather, na nalaroin nila dito sa second half. And honestly, once again, it's not a bad half for either team. Dito sa mapa natin pare, nakita natin yung strengths at weaknesses ng dalawang team. Obviously, nakita natin yung napakagandang map movement dito ng FERVID as Haj will be finished off. Pero Execration, man, at the same time, parang paganda ng paganda yung mga salo nila dito sa mga rounds natin. And at the same time, they're also starting to play their own style, which is more brash, more assertive na CROSSFIRE na gusto makita sa kanila pare. Pero FERVID, kanina pa sila umu-opensa pare, pero ngayon, they're on the PL side and they will be incentivized to go aggressive. At si Lance, may kita na si Justin na nasa short. A7J going for the full swing. Namatay na agad si Yotib, na leg lang siya dun.
What is this round?
And Haj on the long side. Fall X out in the open. CBN spotted dito sa stage at sa entablado na lang dito si CBN nakatayo, pero yan yung pinakadelikadong lugar, especially knowing na naka-EBR yung mga players ng FERVID. But you're gonna be put on a highlight trail kung di nyo siya mapatay. And finally, they finish him off. FERVID around on the board, pero ito yung sinasabi ko sa Albi, pag nakatungtong na sila sa BL side, doon na sila mag-green light.
25 seconds, Nikki. Inaabot nung round na yon para makuha ng FERVID ang 4. Hindi 3, hindi 2, hindi Boga mula kay Lance. 4 ang nakuha ng FERVID in the span of 25 seconds, pre. And now, Execration on defense. Nakatago lang dito sa may welcome, pre. Medyo alanganin nga to. Lalo't pwede nga mabombahan dito si CBN, pero parang hindi ata nagmamatsyag ang FERVID. They need the timing. CBN wants to play it right. Anya nga munang pumikta. Kita na kasi Dracifer gets the adjustment. Drop down si D. Pabalik na nga ng BR nga ngayon. Very dangerous spot para sa side ng FERVID. They do not want to contest it anymore. Masyado nang marami natanggap na bala si D.
Yeah, but I think that wasn't the intention dito ng FERVID, no, Salvi? I think they really wanted to start the fight dito sa HP as fast as possible para mapunta dito yung attention ng Execration sa B-side. Pero hindi sila naloko dun eh. CBN was just sitting still the entire time dito sa hagdan natin, pare. And I think they're very fully well aware na FERVID, they do like to make a bit of noise on one side of the map and pop out of the other, pare. So Execration not deterred whatsoever. Dracifer even losing his life in the process with a very good angle galing kay CBN. Pero Folex also somewhat in danger. Nasa loob ng smoke itong si E7J. Peeking left, peeking right, and flicking at the right time. Folex is now down on the short side, 4 versus 4. Kailangan pa makakuha ng isa dito si A7J, pero NBA a bit smart with his peaks. A7J dumiretso, di man lang chinek yung corner. And CBN with another nice angle dito sa B-side, spotting D on the boxes. And Lons and Hadj, the last two left alive. Part of that OG FERVID roster na nakita natin not too long ago. But can they save this one in the present? Flash dito kay Hadj pero hindi siya masyado nabulag dun pare. Dalawang tao na nasa loob ng HP. And Hadj will be getting CBN with an HE. Pero Justin, yun na nga men. Stuck na dito si Hadj dito sa HB. And it will be a round for Execration, man. Tuloy-tuloy lang yung back and forth.
Now FERVID needs to break this once again. It kind of looks sloppy sa loob nga ng Storbinos, Niggy. Now, they want to attempt itong A-site nga na to na kung saan pumaldo nga sila kanina from Lance. Good round for Execration, but now FERVID needs to one-up this with a possible rush. Grabe nga naman ang paninira ng tempo. What a meta here for FERVID. MVA, nasa baba lang ng Ares ngayon. Gets the headshot over to Dracifer. Gets the second. Hadj, pasok na nga sa slope natin dito. Folex hindi pa rin nagpapakita. It's a double sniper dito sa loob ng site. Pero si Lance makakakuha ng isa. And now si Lance na lang ang natitira nga dito on the opposite end. Walang nagawa ang FERVID sa entry nila sa LA. And Lance would have been a good asset para makuha ang split. Pero wala nang nangyari as Execration. My God, CBN. Niratulan mo lang si Lance, tas headshot pa yun.
Di man lang nakascope, no? Dito si Lance, pare. And a 7-5 para sa Execration. And this is where they can do most of their work. Pare, A7J, dire-diretso lang dito sa mid, pare. Pero si Justin, he was spotting those doors the entire time. And A7J, mali yung kanyang movement, pare. Dire-diretso lang papuntang rampa. And Justin with a better angle at that very moment. Pero D will be trying to get the trade for his big brother, pare. Problema nga lang, tignan mo yung setup ng Execration. They're not really incentivized to get any more map control ngayon, pare.
Atong mahirap pre, no? Say FERVID, they went hyper-aggressive and parang feeling ko natitla na nga ng Execration kung ano dapat ang maging lethalness ng approach nila sa mga laban, which is definitely going to be very much aggressive as well, no? Polex gets the shot over to Hadj pero hindi gumagawa nga ng milagro nga dito para ma-cut off. Teka lang, napakaraming bawas naman dito for the Execration HP bars. Dracifer playing 180. CBN nagkakasalisihan, napaikot and there goes finally the kill. Pero magiging 3v2 pa ka to. Dracifer has whole B-side. Kailangan bilisan ni Folex. Narinig na nga. And there goes the retake for Execration.
Yan, D. Just gonna be the late activation dito sa may metal box natin, pare. Dracifer will be the guy doing the distraction the entire time, fitting for an attacker. Pero Folex getting D. Dracifer, hindi na in-expect yun, pare. What a retake galing dito sa Execration. I was thinking na medyo matagal pa magpipick dito si D, pare, pero hindi. Siya pa yung unang namatay.
Ang bilis nun. That is crazy. The layering ng Execration para i-double swing kagad si Dracifer. It usually happens na may onting delay pa papasok ng site para lang ma-check kung si Dracifer nga ba talaga ay nasa close. Napakabilis nga naman ang presence of mind for Execration to play the retake. They managed to convert the 2v3. A7J! Masyado nang makulit si Justin. Subok tang subok sa HM. Ayan, binigyan na nga ni A7J. With a major lead for Execration, this is now the best time para makapag-experiment ka sila. And experiment they did. What a split from S all the way to LB. Lance nakapasok na nga. Possible entry now for Execration. Pero si Hadj, nalimutan nila. Nakapasok ng Winay galing LA. Yotib now gets the silhouette of Hadj. 2v3, napakagulo pero napakabilis naman sa FERVID. This is the pacing that we all want para sa FERVID. 2v1 na nga lang. CBN 45 HP. Still good for 2 hits mula sa EBR. Pero paano mo i-retake ng 1v2 ang B-site?
Grabe. CBN has already 17 kills, 8 headshots in dito sa laruan natin, pare. With an HK417, this kid can produce miracles. Dracifer and A7J taking the safest spots possible. However, dito sa loob ng B-side, pero kung tama yung swing dito ni CBN, if he can catch Dracifer out in the open, pwede pa to, pare. And here comes the smoke takes. That's a 1, tap and a 2! Oh my goodness, CBN! Tamang-tama yung nickname sa'yo, pare. Headshot machine indeed. And you give him an HK417, anything is possible dito, pare.
19 strong para kay CBN.
2 bullets, by the way.
Pre, hardest site to retake pero binasican lang ni CBN. fight still continues. Wala nang oras para sa seremonyas. A7J gumagawa din ng highlight na para ka sa kanya. Di daw the headshot. Indeed, what is this game? Nakakampaliw nga naman talaga. 3 para kay A7J, 2 para kay D. FERVID 6-9.
Yun nga, just because FERVID's losing doesn't mean that they're gonna take this lying down, pare. Tamang triple sack lang dito sa A-Long. Pero titignan natin, D on the B side of the map this time. USP sa kanyang kamay, pero dediretso naman siya dito sa CB. Spotted na ka dito si Folex. Folex will be taken down. Justin could be up next. Taps galing dito kay D, pero mamamatay rin sa dito kay Yotib. Yotib na on short. Still peeking out in the open kahit may tao sa talunan. Grabe na, napaka-ballsy mo, Yotib. And this is what I want to see. This is that erratic sniper na nakita natin sa QRD, pare. And Yotib looking for more.
He's doing it again.
Hunting. Spotting itong si A7J. It's a highlights exchange. And Yotib looking for the jugular of Lance. Pero dalawa pa nga ang natitira para sa Execration. It just so happens to be the 2 highest fraggers. Yotib at CBN ang kailangan daanan dito ni Lance, and what a mounting challenge.
Sabi men, 15 and 21 para sa Execration. Yung top fraggers pa talaga yung natira para sa Exe. Lance, wala nang mas Everest pa kay CBN at kay Yotib. Lance can now finally make his way to LB, pero di ibig sabihin magpapalaro ng rating dito si CBN at si Yotib. Gagawa ka sila ng sarili nga nilang play. What a call. Kung sino man nag-initiate nga nito para ma-cut off si Lance. And now Lance not looking at his flank. Pinadaan na nga lang din. Nagkasalisihan, di ko rin sure, pre.
window B.
Because of the observation. Teka lang ha. CBN now and Yotib, narinig na nga ng dumot-dot. Wala nang problema pa dito para kay CBN. Lance now masyadong hyper-aggressive. Huli kay CBN. Execration. Dadali tayo sa New Mexico. 10-6, Black Widow secured by Exe.
And sabi na nga ba dito, Salvatore, this series was not made to be just done with a 2-0. This is made to go all 3 games, especially considering how close in terms of level yung dalawang teams natin naglalaro at this very moment, pare. Grabe, nabuhayan ako ng loob dito, men, kasi ayun nga, man, you know I'm a macro nerd. You're a macro nerd, pare, and this is possibly one of the best macro games na nakita natin from both of these teams. It's like a chess match, a checkers, backgammon at this point, pare. Lahat na ng board games nilalaro na ng dalawang teams natin, and just so they can get a win on the board. And absolute cinema. Fitting pa lang dito sa ating game number 1 at 2. Paano pa kaya itong game 3, New Mexico? Alam ko, I usually hate this map, pero in the hands of FERVID and Execration, pare, pakaramdam ko, we are gonna see some weird stuff, and it's gonna be special, pare.
Hindi nyo man naririnig to palagi sa amin, pero men, yung New Mexico na yan, kailangan namin makita yung punong dulo. Ayaw namin ng 10-2, ayaw namin ng 10-3, ayaw namin ng 10-4. Dikit sana tulad ng first 2 sets na meron nga tayo, because this competition just keeps getting better and better. Lalo't mabilis yung pacing ng Angkara at Black Widow. Tamang-tama lang sa timplahan ng mapa tulad ng New Mexico, no? Masasabi nga ba talaga na Execration at FERVID na ini-expect nga nilang mapa na to? Malamang sa malamang hindi, lalo't nakalampas lang din talaga sa Vito. Now they have to play New Mexico in one of the weirdest ways possible. But man, yung Black Widow na yun, pwede natin ipatato o kaya ipamuseum, pre, sa dami ng nakita natin dun eh. Akalain mo nga naman, clutches from CBN, amazing shots from A7J, Yotib finally igniting himself sa loob nga ng ating Black Widow, no? Napakalupit nga naman talaga. Pre, sulit para dito sa Execration at FERVID. And I'm just, sana talaga makita na natin kagad yung New Mexico na yan. Kasi feeling ko, pre, habang may init pa ang FERVID at Execration, dapat sinasalang na kagad eh.
Ayun nga, men. Honestly, both of these teams really do deserve the win at this point, pare. I feel like the predictions are now out of the window. I'm just here to enjoy the ride ng dalawang teams natin, pare. Execration and FERVID definitely fitting to be, pwede nga natin sabihin, contenders to be, other than STS and itong VP, to be placed on an international stage, pare. And to be fair, no, ayun nga, granted, it has been questionable levels para dito sa FERVID, pero pag importante na kasi yung sitwasyon, ayun nga, pwede sila mag-step up dito. We just didn't see it dito sa Black Widow, pare, pero we might see it dito sa New Mexico.
Buti na nga lang, Sneaks, lahat ng di natin nakita sa Black Widow, pwede pa sa loob nga ng New Mexico. Kung tingin mo, baliw na itong dalawang team sa loob ng Black Widow, hindi mo pa nakikita ang ating third set. Standing by is on our panel. Ito nga pala si Mochi at si Bipolar para sa mga karagdagang impormasyon to break down the game even further. Kaya na dyan, guys.
Di kaya, nakaupo kaya kami. Pero maraming salamat sa ating mga casters, no? Salvatore Alazuela, Sneaky Frog. At grabe, no? Parang matindi yung pagpa-fangirl and fanboy natin kay YouTube. Kasi grabe yung ginawa niya doon sa mama ng Black Widow natin.
Mochi, tulad nga ng sinabi ni Salvatore, sulit ang mga ginagawa natin dito sa ating albong Black Widow, no? Alam mo, mas exciting pa tong series na to kaysa sa pagkita ni Vic Soto, pati ni Vice Ganda, eh. Ganun yung level ng dalawang teams na to. It's just too intense. Man, isipin mo yun, hirap na hirap ang Execration dito makawala sa malaking gap or at least makagawa ng gap, no, up against FERVID in the early parts of the round. Kinailangan ni NBA na mag-solo tapos kumuha ng 2 kills dito sa Storby ng maramihang beses. Kasi ang sakit ni Haj, ang sakit ni Lee, ang sakit nila sa kahit anong parte ng mapa. Kinailangan dito sabihin ng ating Kuno IGL na, uy guys, wait na, Execration tayo. Alam natin na wala pa tayong laban dito sa Black Widow, pero we can outfrag these people mula sa FERVID. But I would love to give it, no, kay Lance, pati dito kay Haj, na grabe ang holds na. They're getting multiple kills every time. Pero nung time na para ilabas yung spotlight, para dito kay CBN, ay naku po, 20 bomb! Nakita mo to, 1, bang! Oh my goodness! Diyos ko po, it was a beautiful scene. And tama yung sinabi natin to, Mochi, na yes, snipers, we're gonna be having fun here. Yotib and Lance, ang ganda. Pero meron ding mga nag-sniper. Mochi, si A7J, pati si NBA, sabi na, wait lang, kaya din namin yan. And all in all, it was such a good Black Widow. Kahit sino na manalo dito, Mochi, I'm just happy. Kasi both of these teams are playing at their peakest performance ever.
Exactly. Ganon sila kalala ngayon, no, bipolar. At imagine, no, yung mga IGL natin, pinapataas lang nilang pinapataas yung standard kasi hindi lang sa fragging sila, hindi lang sa nadidirektahan nila itong mga kasama nila, but also nakakapag-sniper din sila. Imagine, no, lahat nasa kanila na. Pero ito nga ang ating set summary ngayon, no, 10-6 in favor for Execration. We're in here for CBN. Dude, hindi maalis sa utak ko yung tig-one tap niya doon sa 1v2 moment natin. Akala ko hindi mo makaklatch yun. Pero again, time and time again, he proves us wrong. We also have NBA with the 13-11-11. Ang taas ng ating percentage for the headshot percentage, no? And we also have Yotib naman na talagang matindi at on the prime dito sa ating mapa ng Black Widow. For FERVID, though, again, no, deserve their flowers naman, no?
Yes.
For A7J and as well as D2K Haj. But again, no, we can't deny that there were some mistakes na accumulate dito, no? Reason as to why they lost the grip here in the map of Black Widow. Pero CBN, once again, kagano katahimik yan, ganun katindi trumabaho dito sa ating mapa ng Black Widow.
Yung nga, Mochi, parang bago tayo magsimula dito ng Black Widow, naalala ko pa sinabi nating dalawa, no, na parang clutch potentials and clutches will be held pagdating sa Black Widow.
Exactly.
At parang narinig yun ni CBN na, oy, pakitaan ko nga kung paano talaga mag-clutch dito and to get an immediate win here para ma-force ang ating New Mexico. I would like to say though, congratulations dito kay CBN, but the job's not done, especially dito sa mga sasabihin kong names, Dracifer and as well as Justin. Hindi pa natin nadadama for these 2 sets. Hopefully, they'll give us a little power para lahat ng players natin dito. So for these 2 teams have a better spotlight pagdating sa labanan.
And both of these teams already been able to jump into their own hoops, no? And there's
Oh, yeah.
just one more. Sino ang mauuna at sinong malinis na makakatawid dito, no? Malalaman natin yan for our last map. And if they can still carry this type of consistency moving forward, tayo magbabalik dito sa laban ng Execration and FERVID after this quick short break. Hindi pa natatapos ang umaatikabong labanan. Dito pa din for Execration against FERVID. If you already saw how wild ang ating mapa ng Black Widow, well, guess what? Ano kaya mangyayari pa sa level ng New Mexico? Bipolar, any expectations for this one?
Alam mo, Mochi, wala na akong i-expect dito. I just wanna see these players frag all out, no? Kasi nakita natin dito, first map, appetizer. Second map, main course. And now, New Mexico natin is our dessert. Para mabusog tayong lahat dito, Mochi. Because Execration and FERVID, no, mirror matchup. Almost the same for these two teams. Nagkakaiba lang ng stratline, pero the firepower, the capabilities are endless pag itong team naglabanan, itong dalawang teams na naglabanan. And I just can't wait para, alam mo yon, pag magandang trash talkan to kapag may nanalo na no? You know, if Execration yan, alam mo yan, kakainin niya ng todo, pero pag nanalo mo ng FERVID, well, E7G Indy has a lot to say.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, no? And I also wonder if, I know this is FPS, but I'm wondering kung merong mga magsiscale dito as our late game. Kaya naman tingnan na nga rin natin kung ano nga bang mangyayari dito sa ating mga players. Execration of FERVID, third map here in New Mexico. Casters, kayo na to.
Huling banat na nga ng FERVID at ng Execration. Sino may pinakamagandang na ender, SDK? No? Welcome back to the Casters Test. Maraming salamat to our panel. Akalain mo nga naman, out of all that action na nakita natin sa first two sets, dadalhin tayo na Execration at FERVID sa loob ng New Mexico. No? Parang napaka-fitting lang, Sneaky, sa mga kagulo na nakita natin. Kailangan din natin ng magulo na mapa.
Ayun nga, no? And it really is the culmination of all the chaos ng dalawang teams natin, and it just so happens na I just cannot believe na nakarating tayo ng New Mexico, man, sa nakita natin sa Vito. And obvious naman na most of these players no are very well aware of where the strengths lie dito sa mga mapa. I think looking at the Vito again, no, obvious ban para sa Execration sub base, malakas yung FERVID doon. Eagle Eye, of course, you to avoid that, especially knowing how Yotib is good sa mapa na yun. And para sa kanilang secondary bans, new compound, that's a no-brainer. I think FERVID on compound is definitely one of the most annoying teams to deal with, no, dito sa ating tournament. Yes. And alam mo naman, Port, pare, you don't wanna give Yotib, you know, top A dito sa sitwasyon natin. Pero New Mexico is where we land. Obviously, a map na it is very high variance, pwede nga natin sabihin, pare, but at the same time, there has been some strats na has been fulfilled dito sa mapa na to. Let's just say na kailangan may constant presence dito sa may portal area natin the entire time. And nakakatawa to, Salvatore, kasi I know that half of the, or at least 20% ng mga rank players natin na naglalaro ng New Mexico really have no idea about yung comp scene natin, kasi yun nga, nagugulat sila, men, pag binubukas ko dito yung portal, which is a very important spot to open up dito sa mapa natin, especially on the DL side. Pero makinig muna tayo sa comps.
Water ko.
Ha?
Apa ka?
Eagles ni amma, wakay salig na ako.
Bro, panggil.
Sa CR, narinig. Pause o CR? Di ko sure.
CR yata.
Lapit nga konti sa rental. Kontakin ko itong CR.
Not the on-the-fly default, pare. Para sa FERVID. Pero Lance?
Pre.
Dito ba yung snipers, pare, sa alley?
Medyo batch pa to, no? Pero teka lang, uy, tumatalon si Yotib doon. Sumakto sa crosshair ni Lance. Linaw na nasa gilid. Nakuha na ka, Lance now pushing after that Yotib kill. Napaka-lethal naman, pre. The assumption na nasa post at CR ang FERVID. Malaking pagkakamali. Look at the lethalness now. Execration! Bakit may field shovel dun si A7J? FBA transfer! Pero Haj finally silences Execration, pre. Yung highs ng larong to, hindi pa rin bumababa.
Yun lang, pare. A7J trying to dig an early grave para sa Execration dito, no, with his field shovel, pare. Pero I think medyo na-confused dito yung Execration about how the map works, no? Parang pag tumigil ka talaga and once the fights really do start rolling, you do expect na biglang may lalabas dito ng alley, biglang may lalabas dito ng post, biglang may lalabas dito ng ating waters. Pero I'm just surprised, no? Execration, why are you not opening itong portal off the rip, pare? Kasi pwede maging low-key distraction yun, para sa mga players dito sa B-site, and that kind of forces Execration or at least FERVID to commit a lot harder dito sa B-site natin, pare.
Especially, no, pag nakaligtaan yun ng FERVID, easy backstab para sa Execration. That one sound cue na pwedeng makapanlasan dito sa FERVID could be really a game changer para sa Execration ang dumali yung B-site entry nila. Pero men, after careful deliberation sa may hotel, pati na nga rin sa CRBL, wala, no? Hindi na nga sila bubuelo pa. Apat. Inside of the waters, hindi na nga nila bubuksan, pre. Paangatan na nga sila dito ng FERVID. No distraction whatsoever, pre. Ayun na nga, binuksan na nga. There goes the sound cue. Assumption now, a bit here for D. Pero si Haj, Technically, first contact lang dito lang sa may red. Here it comes. Yote, may entry na nga. Kasama dito ang mga naka-EB dyan, tropa. And there goes the fighting squad. CBN now with a kill. CROSSFIRE with a trade. Si D, hindi pa rin mahuli. Huli na nga sa baba na nga ng 2F. Justin now flying against D. Dinakdakan na Malabins Carter sa Olympics. MVA now on alibi. Pero si Justin na makakuha nga ng kill. The body system of Execration. Absolutely W. Gumana sa Execration ang Waters Exec.
Yun nga, men, ang ganda na lang setup dito ng Fervid. Not gonna lie, tatlo na yung nakatingin dito sa sewers, but they did not hit their shots at the right time. Execration, obvious misplay galing sa kanila pare of not opening portal immediately, no? Pero ito naman sa CBN na nakahold lang sa soup. But Fervid, why are you taking the sewers position? Na si CBN, ready dito sa kanyang spot. Yotib getting CROSSFIRE and Justin getting another one dito sa may suicide. He finally opens itong portal natin para mapunta ka dito sa B. Mag-isa na lang si A7J and I don't think he can do too much in this situation. No, parang ang hirap pang 5v1 sa Mexico.
Abi pre, dinoble contact na nga ng Fervid yung last round yung Tapsu. Tapos eto pre, pinadala na nila 3. Tatalo pa rin sila pre. Because of CBN and Justin. A7J na anticipate dito si MVA. Good shots para dito sa IGL ng Fervid. Ang 1v3, Yotib, inuunti-unti yung door A oh. Matahot na naman talaga. There goes the nade. Onting chip damage. 70 HP now. 36 seconds left on the clock. Sandwich dito si A7J. Needs to make a move. Pero baka magpasiyar na nga ngayon si Yotin na nasa post na nga. Actually, crouch peek, boga, wala. 25 seconds. Pila na shot pa nga talaga para sa style points. A7J not even blinded. Whoa, Yotin niratulan si A7J. 2-1 exit.
Yeah, and Execration, really nice job of kind of just, not really a really nice job. I mean, them just shooting at Fervid, running at them, no pare. It kind of was just a shooting range at one point. Pero A7J, looking for the thin angle dito sa sewers. Yun yung inahanap nila kanina pare, but I feel like it would have been a bit easier if A7J went first. And yun lang, Execration now down a member and down sa map control dito sa New Mexico, which is the currency dito pare.
Uy, pinuhuli si CROSSFIRE. Si CROSSFIRE pa talaga yung nahuli doon. But D, we getting the kill over to Yotib now. Grabe pre, the secret player. Nahuli na nga kagad. Patis holding Ali on his own. Tsaka lang mag-isa pre. Grabe nga naman. Wala nang awa dito si D. Ayaw magpalampas na mga tao. Now A7J nakalampas ng CRBL. Could go his way towards gate. Alam nga ba ni MVA still not going out. Nakita na A7J, what a flick! Golden headshot para dito kay Lito. A7J now also gonna get a headshot. Pre, palakasan talaga ng aura tong New Mexico na to.
And yun na nga, raising his pinky finger para sabi niya, hey, I only need an inch in order to go a mile dito sa mapa natin pare. And look at this, CBN trying to challenge once again. Pero si Hatch naman nakasasala dito sa may sewers and CBN with an occasional miss dito kay Hadj pare. And napansin ko lang dito no Salvatore, when it comes to the map of Mexico, mas nai-incentivize yung mga hard-fighting teams natin kagaya ng FERVID. And it seems like they're benefiting dito sa kanilang GR side and will be benefiting a lot more once we turn the sides here. Pero dahil na nakakuha na sila ng first pick dito pare, there's no incentive for them to roll forward. And once again, close na naman dito yung portal pare. It's kind of becoming a pet peeve para sa akin, men.
Still a lethal game, no? Despite that sneaky. Because of the highs of the fights na nakikita nga natin. Tapsu already controlled now for Execration. Folex nakita ang secret dito ni A7J. Now 4v3. Ito na pre. Tuto pa rin na nga. Dito ni Justin ang pangarap. Mababuksan na nga ang portal para malinang dito sila D. Now D still playing itong napakagandang angle nga na to. Pero actually di pa nga bukas oh. Kinda odd na hindi pa rin sinusubukan to the Execration despite the opportunity na pwede nga nilang bugahin dito si D. Pero napakalayo nila sa isa't isa sneaky, no? Technically. Medyo malayo si CROSSFIRE. There goes the C4. This is an individual FERVID na kailangan gumana sila para sa sarili lang nila.
Ayun namin, binuksan na yung portal. D, ready and waiting. Ganda ng kanyang pre-aim dito. Diretso headshot dito kay Justin. Pero si Yotib at si Folex naman ang sasala. USP in hand. Pero napakadaming baril ang kailangan niyang harapin doon. MVA and Folex finally making it into yung B-side. Pero babalik si MVA, men. Gusto niya i-flank dito si Lons. Do not make it easy for the very last player. Tamang crouch peek lang papuntang site. And the quick scope as the crouch uncrouches para dito kay Yotib. And Execration will get it. Sayang yun, men.
We definitely saw a lot No, sa round na yun. Ang pababukas ng portal, puro boga, nice angles para sa FERVID. And yet, Execration had the better execute. Palitan lang ng sniper dito, no? As Yotib takes down Lance takes down his adversary. FERVID and Execration now on a 4v4. CR. Kontrolado na nga nila Justin, pero masyado na maingay. Dracifer na ichichipan, pero finally they take him down. Justin with the kill. Grabe, men. Napakatabla naman talaga ng laban nga na to. Ayaw magpakita lang kainaan ng FERVID and Execration. All are exchanging some amazing plays. Execration mula dito kay Justin. Kamuntigan lang. Haj nasa post pa rin. Grabe pa naman ang sigla nito ni Haj. Kahit duguan na nga siya dito, no? Still possible for a kill since 34 naman dito. There goes the spray down. Justin takes him. Now with a headshot. A7J hindi alam. Naka-hardscope sa Tapsu. And there goes Justin with a triple kill para makapasok ang Exe end the round.
Yeah, kind of feels like back in the day, no, dito sa Alvi. I mean, just like what I said, Macta also has their fair share of New Mexico experience, pare. And it seems like Justin is right at home dito sa mapa natin. Just rolling on forward, galing dito sa post after getting those initial damages. And Dracifer, no longer is he gonna play the close box dito sa may CR natin, pare. Instead, we'll be playing all the way in post. And Execration. So when he's starting to push back yung depensa dito ng FERVID, hindi na sila ganun ka-aggressive. At least in the early.
Olex wins the fight. NBA now with a kill as well. Dracifer, grabe naman ang hawak ng CR na to.
Bumalik.
Largest lead of the game so far. Dracifer misses the pop flash. Maganda ka sana dito para kay CBN na nagko-cross. Now Justin. Double contact na nga sila dito lang sa may BR. Pero si D playing timing lines na boga na nga. Gets the quick scope. D tago lang. Justin na with his spray down. 3v1. Na-corner na nga si Justin sa may alley. And there goes FERVID with a easy round para maging 3-4. And now FERVID pulls the lead back to just 1.
Yun nga, pare. And it kind of feels like both teams are kind of testing yung kanilang face-up crossfire dito, pare. And it just so happens that FERVID kind of delayed it a bit. Hindi na sila nagpupush at around 2 minutes and 20, 2 minutes and 10. Instead, they are waiting the full 30 seconds dito sa ating start ng round. And then, they're gonna go for the eventual pushes, pare. And obviously, Execration not in the position para mag-fight back noon dun sa moment na yun, pare. And dahil nga sa status or at least the size of the map, pare. One mistake can cascade into a round loss, pare.
Execration. Susubukan pa rin talaga nila tong CR nga na to. And it feels like the ego is working here for Exe na paganahin talaga ang CR papuntang post. Spolex now on secret and the rest of the crew
They play far back.
trying to gain some control. Not even a split. Sama-sama, kapit-pisig dito. Execration sa may CR para kunin nga ang post. Para makansela lahat ng gustong sububok papuntang 2FN as well as Ali B. Lance now, I feel like he's now aware with a quick swing. Now Folex is down. Dracifer, good crossfire. Nauubos ang Execration. Walang split kasi na nagaganap. Double kill for Dracifer. D now on BR. Huling-huli sa camera ng Execration. Natutulog sa execute nila.
Yun nga, and instant adjustment galing kay FERVID, no, na hindi na nila idediretso dito yung CR or hindi na sila mag-face up crossfire dito sa CR, no. Instead, magsasalo na lang sila dito sa mapa natin, fully knowing that Execration is playing some tight spacing. And speaking of tight spaces, pare, Lance finding Justin on the suicide. Dracifer, nakita na ka dito sa CBN and it's a flurry of kills dito sa mapa natin. Tuguan na nga ang ating Execration. FERVID with the upper hand dito sa sewers and dito sa A-fight natin. And Yotib, who was supposed to be the distraction para sa kanyang team, pare, turns out that he needs to be clutching, and we are still naandito pa rin tayo sa Albi. Nasa 5-4 pa rin tayo, men.
3 sets, pre. 5-4 palagi. That's all we need to understand. Yun ang kailangan natin maging reference kung gaano nga pa kadikit ang laban nga natin ng Execration and FERVID. And it definitely should be like that. Sabi ko nga, hindi dapat to maging 10-2, 10-3, 10-4. Dapat lang talaga, dikit nga to. Dracifer, napakabilis. Nakabuelo nga kagad ang top 2. Folex, pwedeng masalas yan. Here comes CBN to set up the crossfire. Nasa L na nga ngayon si NBA. Tagong-tago. Folex now in CBN. Riking hambok. Napakalupit. Pero si D. And D with the triple kill. Pero 2v1 pa rin to. Possible now for Lance. Hiwalay naman ngayon si Justin na hindi makalungon. And now the spray down. Lance and Yotib na lang. Once again, the Scope Kings. Pero With the exception of Yotib na ayaw na ata mag-Arctic sa laban ng Mexico. Ba't nga naman kasi mag-Arctic sa laban ng New Mexico? Execration. Now relying on Yotib. With 100 HP laban sa Lance na kailangan lang isang bala tumama.
Ito, Salvi naman na, imagine if Portal was open sa moment na to, pare. May isa pa sanang paraan nitong sila. I know I'm being annoying about this Portal thing, no? But the Chinese teams are doing it and they are pretty good at this map, pare. Pero, Lance, no more options. Oh, this could be very good para sa kanya, pare. Kung tama yung timing. Kung tama yung timing ni Lance! Kaso di siya nakaskopa, pare. Instead, Yotib with a sigh of relief na naka-EBR siya dun sa moment na yun, pare. 5-5 Execration saved once again by Yotib.
Wala, pre. Sa dami ng beses na nangyari. Pili ko pagod na ka dito. Si
Open the damn
Yotib.
door, Dre.
Ayaw talaga, pre.
Ayaw.
Ayaw talaga
Baisha is
nila.
scratching their head right now, pare, watching this, by the way.
Hindi lang baya siya, pre. Tanungin mo. Yung Adobe's Gaming ng Iomena. Kung dapat bang buksan yung pinto ng ng sewers.
Ayun, binuksan na, pre.
Sagot nila, oo, pre, dapat. Ayun na, buti naman nabuksan na nga. Di naman nila kailangan gamitin. They just need to make the sound cue. Para makapag-rotate possibly si Yotib. Kumagat yung rotation dito ng Execration.
It takes eyes
And
off
in
of
turn,
the players a
FERVID
bit as
could
well.
make the play.
Yun nga. It takes eyes off of that position as well. At least dito sa may mapa natin, CBN mag-isa lang dito sa double doors. Taps are gonna continue. Lance somehow living. And Justin running straight into Lance na gusto lang to makakas dito sa mga bala ng kanyang kalaban, but he runs into another gun anyways. Folex inside of the east side. Huwag ka masyadong makulit dito sa loob ng bahay, pare. D spotting him on the inside. Now he is trapped in between three players. Pero he will try to navigate right around Ali. At makikita na nga dito si D. Hadj will go down as well. And Execration, as soon as the sides turned, something has shifted within them, pare. A7J, the only one left alive. And that's a crouch peek. Galing dito kay Yotib. Execration now have the lead.
Huge para dito sa Execration, knowing that they are definitely relying on momentum right now and are banking on the fact na nasa kanila ang strong side ng mapa na ngayon. Despite the adjustments na nakita natin sa New Mexico, iba pa rin talaga pag GR ang may hawak nito unless malakas ang challenge ng FERVID. But Justin now on lane, catches Hadj off guard. CBN as well. Walang makakapanlaso ng hirap ng laro ng FERVID, pre. Palagi silang nagugulangan ng Execration sa mga spots na nakakalason sana sila. No rat plays for FERVID allowed. They have to play for sight. Lance spraying, ayaw na mag-Arctic. 20 HP, buhay pa rin. NBA left all alone. Here comes NBA versus D. And D hits the headshot through the smoke. FERVID still alive.
Yun nga, parang may familiar na baril dito, no? Galing dito kay D that he has pulled out the Viper dito sa mapa natin. So in terms of CQC, hindi sila malulugi anytime soon, especially on this alley side. But A7J luging-lugi dun sa timing na yun, pare. Sakto sa kanyang ulo. Yotib will be taking him out of the situation. Problema nga lang, Ali ang target dito ng ating FERVID squad. At as soon as makapasok lang dito si D, papunta sa ating house side, this would be nice, but this is just New Mexico in a nutshell, pare. Especially pagdating sa BL side, it's just one big gamble, pare.
Yeah, gonna get caught now. Pero tatabla nga ang ating sitwasyon para sa Execration and FERVID on Ali. Pero pre, it's the same spots para sa Execration. Pero nakakalimutan palagi ng FERVID. Sneaky. FERVID just completely forgets na ang pwesto ng Execration time and time again. Pare-pareho. Folex jumps up. Mahuhuli nga rin dito ni Hadj. Now on the AK. Ba't kinakailangan natin ng mga headshot dito? Eto, sinagot na nga ni Hadj. Wala nang wallbang. Wala yan sa dictionary dito ni Hadj. 2v2, Lance Piso, CBN, still full HP. Also Justin, a one hit na nga lang. And now potential fight here for CBN and Hadj. They take down 100 HP and CBN once again clears FERVID.
Yun nga, and also like Execration recognizing nga pare na BL side nga in New Mexico is one big gamble, pare, and FERVID has been losing time and time again. I mean, granted nakukuha nila yung mga opening fights dito, men, but their secondary gambles galing dito kay Dracifer, hindi gumagana, galing dito sa vent side. And speaking of vents, once again, Dracifer with another attempt, pero kasama niya naman si D this time, pulling out the USP. Hadj will be getting Yotib. Dracifer, nakita na ka dito si CBN, nagwala sa gamit ang kanyang pistol. 2 versus 3, nabawasan pa ka ng dalawa dito. Ang FERVID, and suddenly it's a 2 versus 2. Napaka-winnable, pero Folex mahuhulog, and Hadj is full spray dito kay Justin. It's a 7-7 and it's as close as ever dito sa New Mexico, pare.
Pre, dalawa lang. 2 rounds. Yung pinakamalaking lamang ng dalawang teams nga na to. And I feel like that's not gonna stop even at the second half. Kahit nga strong side and Execration. Pare-parehong pwesto, pare-parehong atake. Ano ba magbabago? Yung resulta lang talaga kung sino nga bang mas malakas kung tumutok. Bukas na nga ang pinto. A possible rush. Barsha Gaming, hindi na kumakamat ng ulo. Natutuwa na sa mga nakikita nga nila. Tracifer, first contact. Not a lot of people inside the B site pero Yotib, alarmang-alarma na. Na naka-hardscope na nga siya dito lang sa may 2F. Not a lot of help here for Yotib. Tanging siya nga lang talagang mag-isa. No util up whatsoever. Yotib na dead na lahat. Yotib with a quick switch. Naging EBR bigla. But now Tracifer gets the kill. A7J now on the lurk papuntang L. CBN falls. Folex now. Nangangalahati nga ang buhay. Now on the 2v3. Pasok na nga ang Fervid dito. And now Hodge amazing entry. Isang magandang lason wala sa post. Folex through the smoke. Gets taken down. Kita nyo naman pag binuksan nyo mong portal, panalo kayo, Fervid.
And yun nga, man. Even if hindi sila pumunta doon, pare, the amount of pressure that you feel on the B side of the map, once that portal is open, hindi talaga, you can't really ignore it kung kayo yung nandito sa B side. And Yotib will be forced to play in that portal position. And ito yung 50-50 niyan, pare, whether or not it is gonna be open or not. He could be stuck there, pero si D, na-stuck na nga dito sa alley. USP dito ni Folex, not taking any chances with the EBR whatsoever. Pero nakadaan na si A7J dito sa CR control para kay Angelito. Pero titigil muna yung Fervid. They're trying to see kung may magpupush galing dito sa Exe, pare. Dito ko
Teka lang, kakasalisin dito ni A7J. Nakalampas. Nakalimot na mag-check. Hands up na bigla. Now, Folex, ayaw pa rin magpalit. Naka-USP pa rin. Pinakitaan na nga ni Lance. Now on the defense nga ngayon, Hodge makakalampas ka ng bunker. Spray down, ginagawang EBR, yung AK-47. Hodge still alive. Now on the 3v1, Yotib. Unfair. Di man lang nakita si Hodge pero napatay niya. Finally, a timeout called by Execration. Ang bilis, kailangan ng tubig.
Grabe, men. Ano nga yung papag-usapan natin sa timeout? That is the question here for
Mas
the side
bilisan
of
natin?
Execration. Mas bilisan ba natin? Are we gonna send it dito sa alley? Folex, maglabas ka na ba dito ng Viper? Pare, parang it really is up to the very minor details ang pwede mong magawa dito sa New Mexico kasi this is a map about those fights, those gunfights, pare, and if you cannot win them, that will be game over para sa inyo. And it just so happens that both of these teams are winning their due gunfights dito, pare, which creates a very close series in between these two. And probably this has been, I would say it, man, the most exciting New Mexico I've casted so far. At least nakikita naman natin yung basically everything except for yung that mini game of opening itong portal natin, pare, and seeing kung magre-react nga dito yung GR. So, Fervid, they get a timeout in the process. Got to talk to dito kay Nice Katol, and para naman dito sa Execration, I have no idea who they're talking to kasi I'm not sure kung nandyan pa si CYK, pare, but if he is, he's probably telling them, yun nga naman, back in my day, malakas kami dito.
Uy. Back in my day, kailan ba yan, Sneaky, no? Pero akalain mo nga naman, Execration still managed to all the timeout. Masyado daw kasing hindi Execration yung mapa, no? Pero akalain mo naman, Sneaky, in the big year of 2026, na idugtong mo yung salitang exciting tsaka New Mexico sa isang sentence, no?
Yes,
I feel like buti naman nandito yung Execration at FERVID para maging tama talaga yung statement na yun kasi we haven't had a handful of New Mexicos na maalala talaga natin, no? If you can definitely remember Atras laban sa FERVID and Alliance versus Virtus Pro. Take a bit of a research dun sa mga laban nga na yun. It's not na New Mexico na talagang mapapasabi ka na, uy, the macro is definitely nice. It's not dominating talaga for the winning team. Pero dito na, pre, eto na talaga. Like, FERVID and Execration is putting an example. Are they really? No? Pero tingnan natin. They're putting an example na New Mexico can be played by one single linear play tapos entertaining pa rin siya. Okay, so FERVID has been doing the same execute, okay?
Power supply still better, pare.
Sampa? Oh, Sampa, pre.
Sampa would be nice, honestly, pare.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. Pero power supply, tama ka dyan, pre. Hindi kita pagkakaila dyan. Na dapat nga talaga. Imbis na 7, gawin po nating 8.
Ooh, A7J. Oh, trying to go in. USP, di sumala.
JY.
Yotib with the quick scope, pare. How has he hit that? Pero Hadges bumawi ng isa. CBN caught dito sa alley side natin, pare. Pero mapapatigil sila na ulit, men. Wala na silang control dito sa CR. Lumapan bigla dito yung Exe.
Lance. Atake. Onte. They're taking the space dito lang sa may lane. Pero napakadelikado niya na. Pwede silang daanan dito ng mga EBR players pero nandyan si MVA bilang insurance. 1 minute and 23. Execration still utilizing itong mga crossfire para mahinaan ng loob ang Execration to make these deep angles. D. Wala mo nga naman. Nakapagpaalib ito. Pwedeng lason to pre. Saan nanggaling si D? Nagpaportal ata siya, Sneaky. And this could be really bad for Yotib lalo't na isumbong nga siya dito nila Dracifer. Now D could pull up the play. Lalo't sasama na nga si Justin and they get Justin! Yotib now aware. Needs to respond. Pasok ang FERVID sa B-site. This could be a plot. Huli si FBA. D is putting up a show ng siya nga lang mag-isa. Wala siyang pakialam sa mga kampi niya. Basta maitawid yung round. Potential match point now for FERVID. Is this a denial para nga kay Yotib? Folex nasaan na nga? Yotib now with a spray down. 2v2 na nga tayo, Sneaky.
Lance taking out itong si Folex in the background, pare. Pero Yotib with an EBR, he could be just as good. Pero spotted si Hadges in the small angle. Hindi sila aware na nakapasok na si Yotib at defuse is incoming! Lance, kailangan mo mag-pick! Mukhang hindi! And Yotib using Justin as a bait the entire time. Pero hindi na sila tumingin dito sa may alley ever since that first fight. And they thought that Yotib was gonna back off after that initial fight dito kay D, pare. And yun lang, Execration getting it. Execration stamping it dito sa may CR natin. Folex getting 2. And FERVID, hindi nila in-expect na magigreet sila dito sa pintuan ng New Mexico. Folex, another one for him. Can he make it? Another ace. Another ender for him. Dracifer, nakita na si Justin, pero Folex sasalba na paharap. And that is a 4K para kay Folex, stolen by his teammate at the very last second, but still Execration avoiding the doldrums of getting defeated by FERVID. Buti na lang talaga na mas clutch sila doon, pero Execration, after a hell of a series, finally taking it 2-1.
That is definitely from the timeout na tinawag dito na Execration. For the first time since Execration started playing professional Crossfire, we can finally say they will exit group stage as the #1 team after securing their game up against FERVID. Congratulations for Execration. That bye slot in the semifinals ng playoffs is now secured for XFAM. At napaka-poetic naman talaga para kay Folex sa magdadalawang taon na nandito na nga siya. Man, oh man, what a story it has been for Execration for the start of the year as a disappointment sa playoffs ng Master Spring to now the #1 seed ng group stage. No? They still have a game up against Tarim Bobby, but it is already cemented, no, na Execration will be getting that #1 spot. Now FERVID still losing despite all of that. Grabe nga naman talaga, but you know, there is still a reason para umitin dito sa performance ng FERVID because for an emergency substitution, that was a hell of a performance para kay Hadj.
Ayun nga, man. And even si Dino at the very end of those rounds actually was in a very clutch position dito sa mapa natin. But unfortunately, you know, Execration having Yotib at the right place, at the right time. Grabe talaga, man. I mean, this is, parang may sinabi si Crossfire Radar, no, dito sa comment section natin, pare. This kinda seems like STS versus VP 2.0, yung dalawang rivalry na to. But it kinda just feels like STS and STS, and you kinda just clone them both and then sinama mo sila dun sa isang team. Pero granted, no, Execration is a bit more tactical pagdating sa kanilang approach, FERVID as well, but the vibes is still there, no, pare. You can see that these two teams in the future, pare, iko-contest nila ang ating mga top spots. And para naman dito sa FERVID, no, it's still, you know, a questionable position para sa kanila, pare, pagdating sa ating standings. But at the same time, pagdating sa kanilang schedule going into tomorrow, if I am not mistaken, they do have a game up against Veteran. And kung ma-clean up nila yun, pare, they can make it into playoffs. And if they're playing like this, pare, pwede kong sabihin, playoffs ready sila.
man, these two teams already playoff ready the moment na they stepped into the group stage. No? Ganyan talaga kataas ang tingin natin for FERVID and Execration. Pero that is it for New Mexico. What a series! 3 sets na hindi ka nahihinaan ng loob kung anong makikita mo kasi palaging nasa taas ang FERVID at Execration. Tignan naman natin kung nasaan na nga ba ang ating panel para nagkakanda. Wala-walaan na nga sila ng emosyon dito. Pero sana nandyan nga sila. Mochi and Bipolar, kamusta kayo dyan?
Ayun, grabe yung ngiti nitong katabi ko. Maraming salamat sa ating mga casters, no? Na, grabe naman talaga. Buti hindi nga kami nawalan ng boses. Kakasigaw namin kanina sa mga highlight nila dito, no? Pero grabe lang din naman talaga yung mga pinaggagawa dito.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Execration and as well as FERVID. And I didn't entirely expect that it will lead into the browner pastures that is New Mexico, no? Kasi puro sand lang na nandito. Pero grabe, Bipolar yung mga nangyari dito ngayon, no? Talagang literal that this specific series put a smile on our faces dahil sa mga pinaggagawa nilang kaguluhan dito.
Yun na nga, Mochi. Alam mo, as a caster, bawal tayo may pinapanigan. Pero ako, I had hopes para dito sa dalawang teams na very, very high. And they did not disappoint. Mochi, FERVID and Execration bouted and ended off with a beautiful, very tight 2 sets. Isipin mo yun, in the very first round, naglalabas si 7J ng pala. Akala mo nagpa-Farmville, pero nasa New Mexico ka, brother. Pero yun na nga, no, FERVID and Execration, man, look at this, no, the fight all throughout. Hajj na minsan na nila maglaro, pinakintaan tayo ng AK-47 na ginagawang M14 at lahat tumatama. FERVID on the GR side had so much powers. Pero pinakataan din yun ng Execration with their immense holds and intense actions. Nakita mo rin yun, Mochi, na parang everyone was fighting for blood and you love to see it. And one of those players especially is gonna be the end as well as itong si Yotib. Yotib, man, look at that, no? Realizing that there was no one close sa my side, nag-defuse na lang. Ang tagal niya nag-hold dun sa may alibi. Nung namatay si Folex, saka lang siya lumabas. He got the kill and look at this picturesque snipers versus snipers. Pero what can give you a win sa GR side? Defuse, sabi ni Yotib. And man, I'm so happy despite na FERVID, no, they did lose. Pero wow, it was a loss na hindi mo pwedeng parang isipin mo na lang dito yung sinabi ni Jimby, no, na these losses, hindi yan totoong talo.
Totoo. Kasi biro mo naman yung pinagdaanan nila dito, no, for FERVID. Honestly, these stats are looking good on their end, no? But at the same time, I feel like it's just that everything is a bit so riled up, a bit too fast, a bit too amplified para makahabol dito itong si FERVID. And I think, honestly, this is such a refreshing look for Execration na, oo, puno sila ng struktura, puno sila ng playbook, alam nila yung pwede nilang gawin sa mga rounds natin dito, how to change it up, but at the same time, I never saw them become this fast sa lahat ng mga laro nila. And our set MVP is Justin. And if earlier on, there were some struggles simula sa ating unang mapa, binawi niya ng lubusan yun ngayon at sa mapa ng New Mexico pa.
Yun na nga na, Mochi, 2 sets late pero at least pumasok siya when the time was needed at the very last subject pa sa araw na to, no? Kahit na Sabado, sabi ni Justin, papasok pa din ako, magpapakita ako ng 1.42 na KD and he was the spearhead or the dagger para makakuha dito ng beautiful win ang ating players for Execration. And again, I believe it was 8-10 dito sa ating New Mexico. So yung decider natin, isipin na lang may 8-10 dyan from my point of view and Mochi's as well. Pero no, tignan mo, Mochi, di ba 7-10, 10-6, 10-8, or 10-8 yung nakita natin dito na parang, wow, it was a fun-filled na treat tayo ngayong araw na to, Mochi. Akala mo playoffs na.
Grabe, no? Grabe, Bipolar, di ko inaakala na dadating yung araw na yun na bihira at kaunting-kaunti lang yung dead round, ganito kabilis. Tapos, pinakain pa tayo ng crossfire action ng Execration and as well as FERVID, no? This is such a very nice day for us. Pero, sino nga ba ang nicest player dito? Si CBN lang naman. Tignan mo naman yung headshot per kill, 66%. Tapos,
wow!
Ewan ko, di ko na alam anong sasabihin ko sa taong to, bipolar, no? Malala talaga siya, di ko alam kung anong ginagawa ni Candy dito sa jowa niya, no? Pero at the same time, parang
That's crazy.
boosted
That's
talaga at confident ngayon dito sa ating entablado.
Again, shoutout sa'yo, Jake, no? Candy, kakaiba ka. Pero syempre, feeling ko kaya siya nagpa-shoutout kasi alam niya si CBN ngayon mag-iinit. Kaya pala may mga bumbero
Yo.
sa labas ng kondo ko ngayon, no? It's gonna be crazy. CBN, amazingness yan ang pinakita niya dito ngayon and it was never a bad performance from him. 20 bomb, clutch plays, immediate contact, lahat yan binigay ni CBN from Black Widow up until ngayon dito sa from Ankara up until sa New Mexico. Pinakataan tayo ni CBN na talagang he is ready for the playoffs. And that was just from contact. Please look at his headshots all around. 0.66 and you can't get that kind of performance if you're not locked in. CBN was always there from that Ankara map kung saan nakita natin he had the betterment with the help of Fall X, 2 heavy fraggers, pero sabi niya dito in the next game sa Black Widow, tatama ako, I will make you believe in CBN. I will make you believe in Execration from my mere clutches, from sheer entries, at kahit na they were down in the dumps, sinabayan niya dito si MBA, yung IGL nila, yung attacker nila na pumupuso pa din. And even here on New Mexico, man, despite the tight angles, despite na nakikita dito lahat ng FERVID yung ginagawa nila, alam ni CBN kung paano manalo. And that was sheer and that was just beautiful.
Totoo, no? Ang lala. Hindi mo man lang maintindihan how is this mechanically possible, no? Being this consistent,
Grabe.
this perfect, every single person going down in the drain. Oras na pumwesto sila dito sa ating crosshair ni CBN. So, grabe, mapapa-crossfire racks ka na lang talaga, no, sa mga nangyari dito sa setting ito. And I can't wait what will be the picture para sa atin, no, pagpunta sa ating playoffs. Pero I know there's a lot of things that we should be watching on, no, para sa mga susunod na steps natin dito in this league. But it's just right for us to interview our match MVP dito sa ating interview desk. Everyone, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between, welcome natin dito ngayon si CBN dito, no? Kasi parang bihira natin siyang nakikita at mukhang ngayon makakausap na natin siya.
Yun na nga, no? Sana pumasok na siya dito kasi madaldal yan si CBN. Alam natin, marami ang sinasabi, di ba? So hopefully, sumasok na siya dito. But again, we're just waiting for CBN to actually reconnect with us. Pero Mochi, we have a lot of questions. Hopefully, we have a little bit of time. Feeling ko naman maaga tayong matatapos. So,
Yeah,
a possibility,
for
di ba?
sure. Ayun, at narinig na nga atin, no, preparado na itong si CBN ngayon, kaya i-welcome na natin siya dito ngayon. Hugutin mo na, bipolar.
Ayan.
Hindi na pala need hugutin.
Hindi na.
Pero
Ready
yun,
na daw.
hello, CBN, congratulations first and foremost.
Thank you
Insane
po.
performance dito, no, especially during Black Widow. And right now, no, nakuha nyo na at nabawian nyo na itong si FERVID. Ano ang pakiramdam na nakuha natin itong revenge natin against them at ano ang gusto nyong sabihin sa kanila?
Okay lang po.
Okay lang?
Man of you. Ba't ka tumatapik? Bawal tumapik kay Polex.
Ano pa?
Walang call a friend.
Okay. CBN, simplihan natin, no? Hindi, sige, may
sige
message
go.
ka ba sa FERVID? Ano pa bang naramdaman mo nung buong matchup na yun?
Wala lang po. Masaya agad.
Wala na.
Ano?
Okay. Yeah,
Happy
at least,
lang
di ba?
siya, happy lang.
O, CBN, huwag ka makinig kay Polex, CBN. Dito ka makinig. CBN,
No coaching.
simplihan natin. Di ba, naglaro ka ng todong-todo. Dito sa Black Widow, simulan natin sa Ankara, CBN, iba yung kakaiba actually ginawa niyo dun sa GR side nyo. Parang nagsama kayo ni Fall X. Ano yung call dun? Bakit parang for the entirety ng GR side nyo, magkakasama si CBN at si Fall X at lahat yun gumana?
Si Aljon sinunod lang namin yung ni Aljon.
Si Aljon?
Apo.
Hindi siya nakahiga ngayong araw? Totoo ba? Yes daw. Yes, Mochi. Yes, nakatingin siya kay Polex. Mochi, any questions?
Ang tatanong ko lang naman dito, CBN, no? Ano kaya ang next step and target natin ngayong pa-playoffs na tayo?
Ano lang po.
Paris.
Sana mapag-Paris kami.
Yan. Okay, CBN, feeling ko madali mo masasagot yung mga kapag in-game tayo, no? Tatanungin ko sa iyo ngayon, punta naman tayo sa Black Widow. 1v2, naalala mo yon? Nag-bomb plant na sila Dracifer sa may B-site, pero wala kang information, walang death cam mula dun sa kakampi mo. Ano yung nasa isip ni CBN? Paano mo na one-tap lahat ng tao dun sa B-site?
Ano lang po, yung sabay, narinig ko po kasi yan.
Grabe, no? Tig-one tap sila dun. Insane yun, CBN, no? Pero, again, no? Congratulations sa mga pinaggagawa nyo dito sa gabing ito, no? Against FERVID. And I feel like hindi ka na namin iistorbohin pa. The floor is yours. I-shoutout mo na yung mga gusto mong i-shoutout dito.
Shout po sa boss ng Axie, si Boss P. Sa Execration Fab. Sa mga tropa dyan sa labas.
Sa buong Execration family, sa mga tropa namin dyan sa labas. Pati kay Kim dito sa likod, sa tropa namin. Pati sa mga caster.
Yon! Thank you!
Candy.
Shout po sa Joe, sa hindi. Ano pa?
Yon!
Yan.
Alright. Meron pa bang additional? Baka may pahabol ka, CBN.
Ano pa?
Baka may pahabol ka pa. Yun na lahat?
Shout po kay Ben Salad.
Yun.
Okay.
Maraming salamat, CBN. Pwede ngang pa-request ng isang banat ng dyan kay Paul. Paano si Paul?
Banat ka daw, Paul.
Isang banat
ka raw, ya.
Paul.
Ba?
Yun! Kumpleto na yung interview, guys. Maraming salamat, CBN.
CBN,
At
congratulations.
congratulations sa Execration.
Good luck, brother. Good luck.
Thank you po.
Ay, na.
Yun.
Mochi, feeling ko alam ko na kung paano natin talaga mapipiga si CBN. Kailangan talaga in-game yung tinatanong natin kasi kahit ako ngayon ko lang na-realize na narinig niya nga dito I believe it was Lance, no? Doon sa may house B, sa store B natin. So, at least may napiga tayo dito kay CBN. But I feel like, pressure in the moment, alam mo, adrenaline's high, ready na mag-playoffs, ready na mag-possible EWC, no? So, talaga, it's just nice to see that CBN is flying all throughout.
I can imagine na mamaya, no, mag-aaya na pumunta sa paresan yung mga yan kasi sa susunod paparis na sila. Pero let us check out ngayon ang ating standings right now since there has been a lot of stuff na nangyari for today. Some were boosted, some actually retain lang tayo, no? We have Virtus.pro on top, followed by Execration. Third ang Team Stallions ngayon, followed by Acceptance, Comeback Friends, and as well as FERVID. Is this how you imagined our standings will look like, Bipolar?
Oh yeah, Mochi. Siguro ang pinagkaiba lang talaga dito is FERVID, pero kasi they still have one matchup, no? If they win that, syempre, they will be very much on top. Plus the round differential will be very, very beneficial para sa kanila, especially ang kalaban nila dito will be Acceptance and Comeback Friends. Itong Execration natin, just like what we said, no? I believe Execration still has a matchup after this. That's Virtus.pro din. Virtus.pro will be battling up against Stallion. So if Execration just dominates yung ating matchup nila on the next time, they will comfortably get that number 1 spot kasi alam natin yan, there's not a high possibility that Virtus.pro or even Team Stallions can go for a 2-0 scoreline pagdating sa matchup nila on Sunday. So it's also gonna be interesting, but man, look at Veteran on that bottom stat, Atras na nagpaalam na rin kanina, no, pero they are very much hopeful on the next coming of seasons. Matt just as well. Pero, nga, Mochi, it's gonna be very, very interesting kung ano nga ba talaga ang ibibigay sa atin ng pinaka-last day natin tomorrow. And speaking about tomorrow, ito na yun!
Yup! Ito na nga yun. It is going to be Tari Bobby against Execration, no? This is more of like a formality match for them alongside with Veteran against FV, no? FERVID. And we also have Team Stallions and Virtus Pro as our finisher. Abay, hindi na ako magtataka, Bipolar, if we will be having the same atmosphere and the same flow of events para sa araw na to, same as tomorrow. Kasi I am pretty sure na magiging malala din itong mga magiging pangyayari natin bukas.
Oh yeah. You know what, Mochi? I feel like we have to address a little bit something here. A message towards our last matchup tomorrow. Virtus Pro and STS. We regarded you as the best entirety dito sa buong CrossFIRE Philippines for the entirety of 2026. Alam naman you guys are prepared, but please give us a big fight because we are awaiting kung sino nga ba talaga ang pinakamalakas sa buong bansa ng Pilipinas, no? So, give us a little bit of a show, brothers, kasi it's gonna be amazing tomorrow.
Exactly. Grabe, no? And this just shows kung gaano katindi ang mga maaaring mangyari tomorrow. And again, no, in addition sa sinabi na Bipolar, mamaya, wag mawala na yung mga naniniwala sa mga
magawala
Diyos natin.
na.
And I feel like, and I hopefully, hindi yun mangyari. That's why this is the best time for them to do and show what they're really made of. Pero ito na nga natatapos dito ngayon ang ating show. Pero bago tayo magpaalam, Bipolar, do you have any last words para sa ating mga audiences or kung kanino man?
For everyone out there, abangan nyo yan bukas, last day of the playoffs. Marapit na rin po ang ating, playoffs as well, the finals as well, even for Impact. So abangan nyo yan, marami pa tayong mga pambuga. And last stretch na rin, no, Mochi, I believe, ng ating caster giveaway. So check that out as well. Malapit-lapit na po matapos. Check it out. Bago tayo mag-EWC, bago natin suportahan ang mga lilipad papunta dyan, let's tune in para sa mga susunod pang matchup. And again, congratulations sa ating caster na kasama dito palagi. Na si Daydom, na kahit maliwanag siya minsan, ngayon pati yung future niya lumiliwanag.
Maliwanag na rin. Yun na nga, no? Everyone, maraming salamat for tuning in dito sa ating broadcast. Thank you so much to our production being able to deliver such quality prod as always, no? Sa ating ops, sa ating scriptwriters. Thank you so much. And syempre, no? Sa ating mga managers na rin, no? Na nag-aasikaso din sa atin and director. And also, no? Maraming salamat sa aking mga co-caster. Syempre sa'yo, Bipolar, Salvatore, Sneaky Frog, Ramon, El, Daydom, lahat, no? Maraming
Gigi.
salamat sa inyo. And maraming salamat sa ating mga teams na until here, no? Definitely showing up in order to prove themselves dito sa ating stage sa Pilipinas in order to reach their dreams. And thank you so much to Smilegate and for providing such a platform, no, para talaga mag-deliver itong ating mga players sana ngayon. And that is to Boss Mark and Boss Alex. Thank you so much. And with that, everyone, this marks the end of this day na kung saan bukas is already the end of our group stage. Imagine, no, we came across a lot of weeks and now we're finally here. And this is a reminder to keep the fire burning at bukas. Magkikita-kita tayo ulit for more Crossfire action.